Hey, welcome back to Métropole Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm joined by...
Hi, everybody. It's me, Patrick, star of Isangren's Daily Casts.
And welcome back to Métropole Grid. We're sharing a microphone again. Pat, you're too far to the...
Yeah, because you moved the... Okay.
Yeah, okay. That's better. Let's go. Crowar, how's it going? Okay, now you're way closer than normal, and this is fine. Neither. First bit is way closer than it's ever been. First bit also can't stick around. Have a good stream. Thank you. Hey, cheers. Happy Thursday, all sick. Yo, Isangren, how's it going? I obviously watched the Daily Cast today. I think today was actually quite interesting. Unlike yesterday. Nado, so much excitement at the moment. Hey, Ixerin, there we go. Clicking for credits.
Having a good Scoopsmas, everybody.
Is it public when the set drops?
Yeah, that they've said the 9th for digital and 12th for public for like physical whatever.
Yeah, no, but that's like something I didn't realize because so today it is the 1st of December. Remember the 1st of December. Next week the set comes out.
Yeah,
like it's really soon.
Yeah, we have 8 days of Scoopsmas left.
Yeah, I'm like so used to other games where like the spoiler season is a month before the release, but no, it's like Friday.
Yeah.
It's like Friday.
Well, I think once done, like I've been telling Null Signal Games, like for the next one we do a battle pass.
Yeah,
that'll be a longer thing. It'll be a longer production. It'll take a whole season. Maybe you get a new Black Panther variant in there.
Is it me or the video really choppy? Welcome to Twitch. Yeah. No, Kyle, the Twitch is just sometimes really quite bad. It's not just you. Baza says it as well.
I'm experimenting. Like I've been on a Henry Selick kick, so I'm like experimenting with stop motion animation these days. Loved Wendell and Wild on Netflix. That's my plug tonight.
Come over to YouTube if you want to. Apologies if the Twitch is bad. It's just kind of been like that for some reason. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. I think I'm gonna have to update my bot because my bot is streaming automatically to one of the Twitch servers, and maybe there's a better one now, and I'm streaming to further away. But yeah, buttery smooth over here is what the YouTube card says. So sorry about that. How do we fit so many cards into the 8 days of Scoopsmas? I'm getting Scoops overload. So, okay, we were a bit spoiled. I think it started really heavy. Actually, no. Tomorrow there's also a lot of Scoops. I do think...
Day 2 was very heavy.
Day 2 was huge.
Day 2 we got like 7 cards, at least.
But I think Day 2 was a surprise huge. I think Sokka had to move Scoops.
Possibly.
I think it was meant to be staggered. So I'm worried there's a day where there's going to be nothing.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll have to check the schedule. Yeah. I'm not sure if there's a dead day.
No, but like, so when they asked if I wanted to do scoop stuff, there's a schedule and people sign up for certain things. So things are spread out. Things weren't spread out this year from my understanding, like mechanically. It wasn't like we want to reveal this before this, which was more important last scoop season because
3 new keywords.
Because the keywords were like kind of important. So it's kind of just going wild out there. So I think you're going to see something every day. Of course, if you go to the Null Signal website, there is like a, a scoops thing. There's like this, right? Yeah. Previous schedule. So it goes through everything. We'll have some links in the video below for like the first couple that have happened.
Oh, I just noticed something. There's a bit of a secret scoop if you go back a second.
The bomb?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is this? It's a bomb.
That's no card that I know of.
That's no card I know of either. That's definitely a bomb. And bomb subtype is a good subtype. Is that diesel on the left? Is that a can of diesel?
No, that's like machinery.
Enhance.
enhance.
No, I can't enhance it. That looks like diesel, man. Is it just a machine? Yeah, maybe it's a machine.
It's just a machine,
okay, whatever. How's everyone doing? I rotated the screen a bit more. That was pleasant to me when I was sitting there, so I'm gonna iron that out. Podcast scoots haven't started. I think, Sophie, it's like as soon as tomorrow. How's it going, by the way?
Yeah,
it's ShadowNet tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
We're Thursday.
Oh, that's Thursday. Oh, yeah. So tomorrow is Isangren. Obviously, that's going to be pretty...
A trio of unusual icebreakers.
Yes, I do know what this is. I don't know what the cards are, but I know what this is. It's going to be awesome. I don't know what ShadowNet's doing. I think it's criminal cards, right? That's all we have?
There's no way to know.
Yeah. I'm loving this pace, especially how's it going, Bumble, especially compared to constant MTG spoiler season. MTG is constantly in scoop season. They're
never not. Like I'm on the MTG subreddit, and I'm like, as a new pack, a new expansion already, new set, and like it never ever stops.
No, you don't know.
Which is like, I hope that MTG players are getting fatigued. They're talking about like, man, this is what it's like to have a game that's run for profit. I'm like, hey, let me tell you about something. Why don't you join me over here?
Oh wait, there's Raven in there. Raven Main says, if you prefer the Twitch chat, but the YouTube video is better for you, you can pop out the Twitch chat and watch YouTube in another window.
Yeah, I believe it's Sklar Raven Main.
Every time I see that.
That's my cousin.
There is somebody, so you post us Sklarticus, right?
On Reddit, I'm Sklarticus.
Yeah, on Reddit, you're Sklarticus. And there's someone who's like pretty prolific as a poster on the Marvel Champions LCG Reddit. That's Spartacus.
Oh, interesting.
And I always read that and immediately think it's you for like, half a second.
That's funny. You know what's also funny? I've never seen Spartacus.
Oh, me neither.
But like I'm in theory a fan of Kubrick. I should get around to it.
I didn't realize that was a Kubrick film?
I think it's a Kubrick film.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know, right?
Really big Scoops Day. I've been told ShadowNet's actually beating me, like in terms of release time or like quality content. Because I could go either way, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, Sanjay, morale on the MTG subreddit is so low, and I have a tough time containing myself just constantly popping in there with, there's another game. Yeah, okay. Sanjay, the other day on one of the daily casts, I'm pretty sure that you reacted to your own comment. It seemed like you wrote a comment into Twitch chat and then you responded to your own comment. That's what it looked like. I was only half paying attention at that moment. I had to do something else while reading at the same time, but correct me if I'm wrong, but it was really funny. More explosions? It looks like there's much more explosions. Yo, Thanos, it's just at the pop of the chat because I hate the location. Oh, yeah, that works. Yeah.
Explode? What is this? A Wheezy Waiter video?
He actually did. He actually
did it. Like, hey, really interesting question.
That's a great idea there. And then
Man, chat's got a great idea. Let me just highlight that.
Yo, that's a really big thing, actually. If you have like some scoops or some spoilers, if you invite Sanjay, who's an absolute treasure, so excitable. It's honestly the best to watch Sanjay react to cards. Whatever you gotta do to build engagement, soul man.
It's true. Comments. It doesn't matter the content of the comments. You need comments on your content.
You need it.
That's the thing. I'm an SEO expert.
Yeah, we've always gone out of our way to make sure that we factually are incorrect and we pronounce some names wrong just for the engagement.
Exactly, because we need to get that people saying like, hey, you did this wrong. Like, yeah, that gives me 100 more clicks.
Actually, you're saying your own name wrong. It's like, no, that's how it's spelled. Anyways, it's been really exciting. It's been really, really cool. We released on this channel, put out a video yesterday, and that was 4 Wayland cards, and they're very good.
They're very good.
Very good.
They're all very, very good.
Yes, and then the sort of cards like there's good cards, and then there's good cards that you're excited to play. Like I think there's a fair bit of cards that you think like, oh yeah, that's obviously really good. Like no one's excited to. Okay, some people are excited to play Magnet, right? Some people are excited to play Gatekeeper, but it's not like, oh cool, I'm gonna build a Gatekeeper deck. But these were all the same sort of cards where I think they could see the same sort of consistent competitive play, but also people want to build that deck.
Yeah, I also saw cards in your set of cards that like these are cards that players have to know about as well. Like you have to know End of the Line exists. You have to know Zato exists. If you want to be like an intermediate level player, you have to be aware of those cards now, and that's cool. I like introducing new categories of cards.
Yes,
even if End of the Line is kind of an old category, but it's like you have to be aware that there's a 3-cost 1-tag.
Yeah, watch your tag, especially in startup. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's important to have cards that spark joy. No, but exactly it. And like there's certain cards that come out that like I think spark no joy, and those are necessary, but like I don't know, maybe we got lucky here.
Every set needs a blank 1/1 or something.
Yeah. Are we getting some new cards or something? No, we did all the spoilers yesterday. Today there were more spoilers. So how the policy works, obviously we're going to play the deck list of the week because of the contractual obligation, but we are going to be talking about spoilers for sure. We're going to be going today, and maybe this is, rote ground. You've already talked about it. It's already Thursday. I get it. But we're going to be talking about the official NSG spoilers, the ones that they post on their website, which I think are very interesting and start a lot of conversations. But for most of the stuff that's like posted from other community people, we'll be highlighting where that stuff is, but largely for the next week or so, I'm not going to show like the cards from those folks. I just want you more often to go to their stuff and engage with their stuff. If you want to specifically talk about a certain card, we'll talk about it. We can talk about it. I'm not going to show the art or anything. So if that is unapproachable content, either check out their channels or the daily cast is also a fantastic way for the community also to come together and to talk about stuff.
That's true. I actually really like the way that works. I like the policy because it encourages the community aspect of the game and sharing spoiler season. Like, let's get everybody to download this one episode of the podcast that is otherwise maybe not that popular, like the Shadownet. And just give them a little bit of a bump. I think it's nice. Like, throw them a bone.
They need it out there. No, but for real, that's how it's going to largely work. Again, there's a lot of talking about cards we can do today, and I think we are definitely going to do that. But we have a deck list of the week, Pat. I played this one a couple times.
Cool, great.
Singapore Nationals.
I love NEH. What's special about this one, Andre?
I honestly don't know. So I played this one, and Mendax, great player, posted a lot of actually pretty important decks. I think there's a couple decks that are attached to Mendax that are kind of been like historical Netrunner decks. I think the first one that comes to mind is the government takeover got banned deck. I think that was a Mendax original.
Cool.
And then later I think Pincel posted one that was like a bit more refined, I reckon. But this is the deck that won Singapore Nationals, which was an online nationals, I think 2 weekends ago. It had, I'm not sure how many the player count was. It wasn't the biggest nationals, but there was definitely like strong players there. Yeah. And this is just an NEH deck. It's in standard, which you really don't see standard NEH decks. You see competitive startup NEH decks, and I think that kind of tracks. Idea is it's Nero Thub, 4517. The first time you install a card in a new remote server, it can be ice or the card in the server asset upgrade agenda. You draw a card. You also have 17 influence for some reason. This used to be one of the most powerful IDs in the game.
I was about to say it was definitely the NBN ID until
controlling message.
Flashpoint. Yeah, exactly. Controlling message.
Yeah, controlling message came out. This thing was pretty wild. It's worth noting that like what NBN looked like back in the FFG days was all about fast advance. It was specifically the Agenda Suite and Sansan City Grid altogether were kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
And so these decks flew low to the ground, low credits. They weren't doing tag punishment largely, and they were just flying out and fast advancing stuff. And we're not exactly there. But the way that this deck works is you have a really good Agenda Suite. This is the Agenda Suite that I've been playing in just about, well, not just about every, but like it's very common you see in most NBN decks, especially in startup, because this is largely a startup list. You just change these to the other 3-1. But the idea here is that we play AR Enhanced Security. We become controlling the message. So the first time they trash a card, not an installed card, a card. So take that hostile architecture, they get a tag. Now, what I've seen from this deck, and this has been the problem, is that if you score too many in our AR Enhanced Securities, I think you lose the game.
If you
You've
score
scored too many of these, you lose the game.
Because you've scored too many 3-1s and you've spent resources on 1 point agendas?
No.
Tell me.
What I've seen.
Okay.
So there's this delicate balance from all my testing from this deck I've done. If you score 1 AR Enhanced Security, your opponent thinks, okay, I have to be a bit mindful. I have to be a bit measured. Mind you, this deck doesn't run hard-hitting news, so credit differentials don't actually matter.
Right, it's only predictive. It's only psychographic.
Yes.
Yeah.
So generally, if you're floating one of these, people respect it. As soon as you score 2 AR Enhanced Security, the runner understands, okay, well, I'm going to have to go tag me now. There's no way I can interact with 21 assets like Amani Sanai specifically, and maybe Bladderwort without going tag me. So they just go tag me.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to win a tag me game with a single psychographics in your list. And mind you, for psychographics, you need a lot of credits. If they're just trashing all your stuff, you don't have credits. This deck is so much better, or it's so much worse if your opponent just YOLOs. And I've scored 2 AR Enhanced Security, and all the time the runner has just YOLO'd and has been right, and the deck feels so much worse. So we're going to try and only score 1 of these.
Okay, cool. That's our goal tonight.
It's really strange how this works, is that if you score too many of these and then people start not respecting tags, I think it falls apart.
I mean, I love that deep dive into the psychology of the opponents.
Well,
like
the fact
that you can.
It's way too hard. Yeah. Frisbee says this one definitely needs more tag punishment. IMO, it's hard, like slots. Psychographics is obviously very important because you can score the mythical big deal. And you have some recursion. The thing about this deck too is it doesn't run multiple daily business show. Like it runs 1. And so the idea of like
that feels so essential too.
Yeah, it always feels like the best. We're playing Amani Sanai 3 of, which also seems strange, but it makes sense in a boat meta. Like this gives punishments to open centrals, like that kind of tracks.
Is there any tag punishment that's also installable? Like, is there a tag punishment
self-growth program. Oh, acid? No.
Yeah, I was just thinking like ways to like trigger the ID ability, but also have like a card that says if the runner is tagged when res, do this. I don't
They're all
think so.
ass. It's like guard dog. That's basically res cost of ice -1. If they clear a tag, gain a credit, draw a card. Like terrible stuff.
Yeah.
Generally. So that's kind of the best you got. So it's strange. Now, inherently, if you get a Bladderwort on the table and you protect this is like a pretty big tempo loss for the runner. They need to deal with this. Again, we don't have hard-hitting news. Don't tell them. But again, we only have 1 daily business show, so we can't consistently get to our psychographics. We will flood up a bit more than normal because we're also drawing more than normal with Near Earth Hub. I don't know. I looked a bit of the meta of this deck, and I feel like into a Hoshiko that has like 1 piece of tag or asset destruction, which I don't think a lot of Hoshiko does. I don't know. It seems really difficult, but we're gonna do it. No more dedicated response teams. Yeah, that was technically one back in the day. It's
oh yeah, that might have been what I was thinking of.
If only there was another meta yellow suite that punished boats and tags. Yeah, right.
I don't think there is one though.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Well, this deck is interesting. We'll see how it goes. But I do think a lot of it is how much they respect your tag punishment. Cards that have to be shouted out. Lady Liberty often shows up in CTM decks, and I think Near Earth Hub decks probably. And the idea with this card is that if they don't trash it, we can go get an AR Enhanced Security scored. Technically not scored, but added to our score area, which this card cares none about. It just needs to be in the score area, so that's fine.
Yeah.
And then it threatens technically a Beal, and then technically threatens a Bologna. Now, I'd be more scared of that if the deck had more daily business shows, but in theory, yeah. So I miss Reality 3D. I think I've only res 1 or 2 of those, and that's usually been in like limited format.
Yeah. An interesting thing about Lady Liberty that I must have known it when it first came out, but like it is an asset region, which is not something you see a lot of. It probably exists that way to prevent it from being put in a like very heavily like there's defensive regions, and this just prevents that from happening.
Yeah, I think it's the only asset region. I do think also to some extent there's flavor to that, but you're right. I don't know if there's any balanced things. Oh, I think
it's probably mostly flavor though.
Was Breaker Bay Grid or ever around with this? Because then it's a free res. That's probably the only one.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were definitely around at the same time.
Yeah, Breaker Bay was legal at the time. Yeah, so that's why. Breaker Bay was a region that said all cards in the server will res at 5 credits less, which was a very powerful card for a long time.
Yeah, A lot of Adonises, a lot of Eve campaigns.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna catch up on chat real quick because we skipped over, I think, people's responses to a lot of spoilers. Zato's so exciting, and I miss Scorch so much. The Scorch 2.0 is nice to see too. I'm also really excited about that, and I think Scorch 2 is gonna play significantly different than Scorched 1. Like, you're not gonna see combo C Scorch Scorch. It's gonna, like, people are gonna be pushing for plays, and I'm excited about that. I think the idea is nice. It's hard for me to care about the constant stream MTG spoilers, but I do enjoy playing draft sealed events. Yeah, limited's fun. I also am surprisingly low in Zato. I feel like the runner would happily pay to make the corp lose 3 credits on trash and ice, though I might just don't think it's amazing with ETRs.
But in op, that trashing and ice is barely a cost.
Yeah, and it also doesn't trash itself. So
Yeah.
you pay 3 credits, but you get the back on everything.
Mhm.
So like you trash and end the run, and then they get another ice on the remote server that's hopefully better for board state, and then
Yep.
you still have to run that. So it seems quite good, let alone like just trash program subroutine is kind of inherently really hard to interact with.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It kills in the same situations that double HPT did. Oh, with a single tag, yeah, but there's not a lot of decks back there that built to capitalize on double HPT single tag because that's like 3 cards in hand plus additional, like, you know, threat on board. So people didn't build for it. I'm interested to see if people build for it, especially with the new cards, how consistent that is. In op, I think it's great. Zato, yeah. In op, it's so much better, but I think it's playable outside.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think a Jinteki deck could be fine. I think throwing net damage might be important.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Jinteki is going to use some of those Wayland tools.
Yeah. Do I have this deck yet? No, I played this on my other account. Yeah. What's it called? Tempo NEH. Yeah, huge shout out to Mendax for taking the nationals. I think that's fantastic. Again, people getting involved in online nationals, amazing. And I don't know how much competitive events there are that make sense for like APAC time zones. So love to see it. Is NBN near Earth Hub or is it just near Earth Hub? I think it's just near Earth Hub. Yeah. Okay.
Sanjay has a great question. How much do you think the first Canadian winning Worlds directly caused NSG to murder the most prominent Canadian character? I have heard Morgan lie to my face that Sundog was canonically dead before Worlds.
Definitely, he definitely was. You can,
we know this. We know this. Like you can fake, you can fake dates on websites. Yeah. I've done it. I'm an SEO expert, so you know it can be done.
Introducing yourself as an SEO expert is always so questionable.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I think it's true. I don't know. I was thinking awful just jokes. I was watching the Daily Cast stream, and then there's that new card. I forget the name of it, but it has a dog on it. And I was like, oh, this is the one dog that she's not killing, huh? But yeah, who is Sundog? The pick one also did like a terrible shit post on Reddit, and people interacted with it at the same, I think, a reasonable amount, which is quite funny.
Sundog is, of course, another name for Parhelion, which is the Netrunner expansion that's coming up. It's going to be out on the 9th on Jinteki and available for purchase from your print-on-demand supplier of choice on the 12th.
For real, when you search Parhelion, the first response is Sundog. It just like auto-completes to Sundog. Yeah. Hey Ben, finished some of my courses today. I'm ready for some Netrunner. Yo, you're just in time. So are we. Our lobby's just spinning up. Hopefully the courses are good. We don't know exactly who Sundog is or what he is important. It's kind of just a joke around here.
He does Canadian. Appear in Sable's first story as well.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. So we meet him when he's not about to die, and we also meet him when he is dying.
Oh yeah, because Sable runs into him.
He's like her contact. In Novosibirsk.
Yes.
Vladimirisk?
Probably Vlad, I'm guessing. But that's the one where like she comes off the metro, busks, and then she meets someone in a park.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. With 2 in hand, it's 4 damage on 1 tag, 8 damage on 2, but those are the same numbers as HPT only gets to 3 tags. Yeah, 2 tags, that's 4. That was the thing though, like that's why I was a bit pessimistic. Admittedly, like I wasn't the most sold when I immediately saw what's it called? I want to say Blood in the Water, that's not right. End of the Line. Blood on the Snow is how I'm gonna call it. But But as soon as basically I was editing the video together, I also saw Sokka's HB spoilers, and then like Null Signal really wanted to push core damage. We're seeing more core damage runner cards too, so it's looking a bit more consistent, which I think is kind of exciting. He is a good dog. Hey Phil, yo, what do you got at your spoilers? It's tomorrow, huh? Is it good? Ah, smoke. That's kind of like a mixed bag because she can make a Kami all running. Ugh. Are we not as great as normal? No,
let me see.
Hey Tabby.
A little bit of money, Spin Doctor, some ice. But nothing to.
These are bad assets for turn 1.
Okay, I'm gonna mulligan.
Yeah. So we basically want to get stuff on the table. So like
Mhm.
getting an Amani Sanai is potentially disastrous if we ever hit a net recur that's loaded. None of these are like temple positive assets that we want to jam.
Mhm.
I don't know if we open with Spin Doctor. I think that's probably one of the easiest things to put on the table. But also Spin Doctor's so good with DBS, it hurts me that there's not enough DBSs. So
All right, let's start our turn.
oh, that you score.
Just install.
Well, you install 3. The question is in what order?
It will be, and we're not going to put in the Sansan grid, obviously, because we can't predict it. It'll be Amani.
I think you always start with
AR.
Spin Doctor. Well, you want to install it. You might get Ice, right? It's generally the card you open, it's the one that they're most likely to run. So
Mhm.
open with the Spin Doctor, and then you do Amani, and then you do AR. Or you can do AR Ice if you're like if you're slightly conservative.
I'm going to do AR Ice.
Okay. This looks like a Rashida.
But yeah.
The problem is if they force us the ice, we can't res. So I do think a lot of times triple ice is actually, or triple install is better.
Sure.
Because if we res the Enigma, we can't do anything. Hey, Izzy, how's it going? It's y'all again. Hey, welcome to YouTube. Izzy, you did testing on the
I'm not going to pop this, obviously.
the ARG, right? That thing was really, oh, you should res that at a minimum.
They
didn't trash it. We got away with that. We got away with that.
Okay. Well, too late. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
This.
Okay.
Yeah, now we lose. That's why I don't think you ice it up. Well, not lose, because like we're fine with this. I think we res it.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
we don't res it, no, we don't res it, because they lose all this money unless they want to preemptively pull a breaker. And this is why also the ice is probably worse to some extent than Amani, because you can punish with the Amani here. Not well, the overclock trace is a bit worse. Yeah, I don't know if this open was right. I think we want to do triple asset. At least mantle for them is not a loss. It's a bit odd introducing an Anarch package around taking core damage and then giving 3 factions tools that make core damage something you want to avoid at all costs. To me, it feels a bit like what I've seen so far. It feels a bit like in Terminal Directive, where they said like, oh, here's Steve Cambridge who cares about recursion, and then also here's Scorpios try and recur things.
But I think it's so much better. Like the Tule versus Essa matchup is so much more interesting because Essa's ID isn't deactivated. Parts of their deck are kind of deactivated.
Yeah.
All right, let's go DBS Sansan in that server. DBS first.
Putting Sansan on the table like doesn't matter because we're so financially away from resing it.
Okay, well I'm good.
So if anything you could do DBS, but then you're going, yeah, you definitely start with that, but you're going to need to. That's what you need ice up.
I ice this up.
You'll always ice that up.
All right.
And then here gaining 3 is not correct because we need to get underneath Bladderword. So getting an Amani on the table and even just resing Amani to duck 4 is sometimes
I like
correct.
that. Yeah.
You just always want to be under 4.
Yeah, makes sense.
Going good. Oh, typing up decklist. Yeah, it's East Coast Champs tomorrow. Good luck, Izzy. On a typewriter because I don't have a printer and respect Dan enough to not try to make him read my handwriting. That's amazing. I reckon you could send it to someone and they'd print it out for you, but that's hardcore. I don't have my typewriter here. It's back with my parents and it doesn't write well. All right, they got good money, but we got Bladderwort. They have a paperclip in the bin, worth noting. So just make sure that you're underneath 4. So yeah, daily business show always should work. All right, we hit 20.
That feels good.
That feels good. That doesn't come back.
In smoke, that feels very good.
Oh, that's a sad. Yeah. Okay, just get more ice.
Which card do we add to the bottom?
You have they're up there.
Oh, it's up there. I need the ice.
Izzy crushes 5-1 in the draft. It was dope. Oh, it's already on, right? That's PAX Unplugged. Excuse me.
Oh yeah, PAX Unplugged. That's going on this weekend. We can talk about during news. What do we want to do here? I'm thinking just
get the Sansan on the table. Like you just want to draw into more things to put on the table. Like we need pad campaigns because so much of our money's tied into. You get that on the table. Click for credit. Don't ice it again. It's the biggest tell. And you do click for credit here is fine because you can res to
I'll res Nani.
Okay. Other way, yeah, you're good. End turn.
And ending turn.
I'd have pooped the laundry. I think we definitely should have pooped the laundry. Like we could have made that disappear and they would actually be down credits.
Oh, true.
Yeah. So we have to res that. That's a good face check. It actually takes a click off of them.
Yeah, true.
So
and fire, yeah, no reason not to.
Yeah, if they had a breaker, they could pump, but here would be fine. Oh, right. Sick. We don't have enough credits to score out, but that's totally fine.
Yeah, because we're about to get 1 more credit and knock out a misdirection.
That's fine.
I mean, they can get it back, but I feel like Rashida's what we want.
Yeah, you want to click on the one you don't want. Yeah.
So Rashida goes down.
Yeah. Here, because we've been filtering a bit, but not so much. We could consider icing HQ. That's the issue with this deck is I never know what to do. We always end on 3 credits. So you could consider icing HQ or R&D.
I do like icing HQ.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine. They can't deal with it well. Yeah, they only have 1 card in hand, right? So now they're going to basically deal with the Bladderwort.
They've got to.
Draft was so much fun. A huge shout out to Ixran. Ixran, was it your draft cube? I take it. Okay, that's fine. Now they can boost, but that's yeah, what they do. Enigma, the Bane of Abyssy. It's fine. Like the math is you break it for 4, but no, you break it for 3. It's the same as Black Orchestra. Just don't go. Obviously, you might have to go last click, but which one is that? Is that the bad one? So Rez or Malia or Amani? Rez Amani.
But what? Why?
Because they steal it. It traces 3.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Smirt.
Yeah. Don't boost.
I would never.
Yeah.
They've got to pay.
Yeah. And now they don't have money. Like this is the sort of lock. Is now they have to draw at the same time as paying credits for this. Oh, definitely get the money. Yeah. It's
sorry.
Super small.
Yep. Yeah, keeping the money.
It was my second GLC cube draft. Actually, not even a reasonable draft video at the door.
Remote.
Oh, even God, excuse me. Oh, that's really exciting.
It's starting to get a little bit flooded, but I feel like one of these should go down.
I think we have to wait for ice. Like they have no way to break ice. So I think you just put them a virus out there and click for credit. Like you just waste their time. They can go HQ. It's going to cost 2 credits. And then we still have Amalia. So once that blows up their Netrunner in their bad spot.
Yeah, Thanos says the goal of not scoring 2 arrows is going well.
We nailed it. We literally cannot fail anymore. You see, this is fine.
Ha! Joke's on them. Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thanks for asking.
Very
Server
nice
8's the Maryland. Server 5's the Sansan. We don't res that. But this is the thing, is like they keep our economy down. We have no recourse. Obviously they need to get their economy up to deal with the Bladderword eventually, but like we literally can't do anything if they're going to check the table every turn.
Yep.
So we're going to need ice. They left us in Maryland. That's good. That makes sense. So we res that because we're still under. We just have to make sure we do them in the right order. Oh, it doesn't matter actually.
It doesn't matter in this case, but we'll do Bladderword first anyway.
Hit SMC, okay.
Okay, feeling good. I mean, we still want the Rashida.
Yeah. Now we have to figure out a duck credit. So we actually want to be on 6.
Well, we still...
Because if we're on 6, we can res the Sansan. So I think you just click 2 here and throw out an agenda.
Sorry, throw out an agenda as in throw out an agenda?
Yeah, because we have a spin.
Oh, true. We have a spin up. Yeah.
So just get rid of Beal.
Sure.
Oh, you have to enter and it'll ask you to do it automatically. If you, there you go. Do you have 3 cards?
It's not like
virus damage might have been worthwhile. There we didn't, because then we couldn't cost our do our thing.
All right. Well, now we're gonna use it.
But yeah, it's not the worst thing. The 1 damage actually could have been. I didn't pay attention. I keep forgetting that you can do 1 net damage with.
Yeah, I forget about that too.
Yeah. Oh, did we do it too soon? No, they drew a card. We want to make sure always that they have enough time to do the trigger, but it looks like they got it off. So just to show what they're doing here, Nemeker is super important. It allows them, if they boost with the Stealth Breaker, they can put a credit on it. So basically all these runs give them either a free card draw like a Dream Net or a free credit like a Desperado, or I guess a Paragon is a more modern equivalent. So if they don't score here, we can give them a tag and do a trace. Like this is where the tables start to turn if they don't deal with server 5. Because we res it for free. We get 2 credits from Maryland. We do install advance. It does trace through, and we can give them a tag as well.
Oh yeah, pretty good.
So we just need to survive this turn.
Just need to survive. Come on.
But like this to me doesn't feel powerful. Like if that was a Hoshiko, I don't get it. I don't fully understand this deck. Maybe we're not playing it correct. I do think our early turn was a bit.
All right, Dirty Laundry, where's it going?
They could trash that. We'll see if they do.
They could trash it, yeah.
They should. It saves on net damage. And as soon as they trash out, we have no game anymore. Like I don't know what to do.
Well, we'll just draw another one.
Yeah, we'll get another one. There's 3.
Yeah, nothing else to.
Nothing to duck.
Well, damn us, we're on 9 credits. What a shame. Phil, we don't need another one of these.
We don't want a Bologna.
Fair.
Do we ever just draw 3? I think we draw 3 with one of those. Oh, hold on. I got a chat bot. That's a good ice. That's actually a very good ice. That's the one ice that their deck can't deal with well.
This and Sansan?
We start with the Sansan to see what we draw. Other Maryland's cute. Yeah. And then we throw out the Drafter, because the Drafter they break for 2 stealth credits.
All right, but this over the Sansan?
I think we just put the Maryland out. Because we can. Oh, no, because we want to res. Okay, wait. We're happy to res that. So I think you do put that on Sansan. Yeah.
Put this on Sansan?
Yeah.
That's what. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And now we throw out ice and a planogram, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Baby steps. Hey, robot. F off. Thank you. Nobody go to the link. Please don't.
It's too late. I'm already going to it. My cursor's heading over there.
I didn't edit the video, but I did speed up the draft by a lot and do commentary over the whole thing. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Sometimes draft takes a long time. Baby steps? No, that's good. That's really good. Iterative content. Super important. You're making a pretty big error in using the Emrakul to boost instead of spending one off of her as part of the trash cost they're paying. They can't use the one off of her. Is that the one off of her is for icebreakers, not for runs, right?
Yeah, she is only for icebreakers. Netrunner can be used for anything.
And using Netrunner to boost instead of spending one off of her as part of the trash cost? Oh, they're not using her to boost to save on the trash cost? Is that what you're saying, Spark? Because honestly, I haven't been paying enough attention to that side of the table. But yeah, you're definitely saying that's like a quite important thing, is that there's way more credits if you use it the right way.
Yep.
All right, they're 11. So if we res this for 6, we'll be in an okay spot. And no matter what, if we res the Bladderwort. Oh, now they're going to take down our Bladderwort. Okay, you res that.
Happily.
Ah, do you? Yeah.
Yeah, this is good. This puts it on the...
Yeah, but they're just going to run their server too. So they're probably going to let this fire. No, they could break it. They paperclip. I don't think you clicked it though. You're good.
Well, the subroutine says, oh, they do have paperclip. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no worries. Okay. How many people are here for spoilers? And then we're just watching an NDH game and you're like, wait, what's happening? Yeah, so I think you might have fired it. That's okay. It's easy to fix. Do you think Zato's gonna be clumsy in person where every ice on the server you say, what is the ice you pick? And then you encounter it? I don't think it's gonna be that bad. Oh, at least they're gonna boost. Fire all. Okay, now I can fire. So they're just gonna bounce and boost, and they're gonna definitely go for the Bladderwort.
Yeah.
Which means we're gonna be on only 3 credits. I'm here for scoops/s. Yeah, great. You don't know if you can, will trash or not. If you don't trash, you don't have a window to boost afterwards. JTFQ. Yeah, if you access the card, you can't boost after that. There's no paid ability windows during access besides, but I think you... Oh, you can't boost and trash, but you can take the credits off Netrunner to trash. Yeah. I mean, here for the incidental Marvel Snap talk.
I did have a good Marvel Snap story just before we started streaming.
Yeah, we traded Marvel Snap stories.
Mm-hmm.
Clumsy part is you have to pick a subroutine with Zato before you choose to trash the ice. Oh yeah, for sure. You have to warn them what it's going to be.
That. Yeah. Choose one card to add to the bottom. Do we keep going for the Rashida?
Yeah, they keep trashing the Rashidas. Okay. So Maryland new remote first. Because that you always do. Okay.
Useful.
So now we need to get to 6 credits. So
Maryland. Maryland credit.
Server 2 Maryland, yeah.
Or yeah, it's a server 2. No, server 2 Rashida.
Sorry, server 2 Rashida, excuse me. Maryland's on the table. And then I think HQ is a bit soft if you go down to 4 cards. So I think you do click for credit here. Yeah.
That seems fine.
Can't wait to see a Raindrops Eula. That's the Let It Fire one. I don't even think it's that good. You pay like 6 credits to drop 6 cards or 4 cards or something.
I was here to just chill, but somehow we've already started playing Netrunner, and I blame Pat. Yeah, I feel like when I'm around, we get into the games a little bit earlier, a little bit more consistently. Oh, okay. Well, I'm being told to.
No.
No, it's all right. I get it. Okay,
these things
cool.
get to me, but you're doing great, man.
Yeah.
You even zoomed in that one time.
I did zoom in. I did twice actually. Did you see? They're running here. No further actions.
We're getting to the economy again. They have like 2 free credits per run, so like this is they can actually deal with assets. It's very odd that it's phrased as you must pick the sub on the counter whether you will trash immediately or not. Yeah, I feel like there's other ways to word it. It's probably worded that way for reasons. Like I have no doubt that came up in testing. They're overclocking server 11 or server 2. What do you think?
I think they're gonna do.
Or do you think they really hate that Maryland? Oh, this is fantastic.
They hate that. That's fine.
This is fine.
Feels okay.
This feels great. Ranger Eula pick quality time and better than equality time.
Raindrop cut stone.
I don't know if equality time is that playable modernly. Like quality time was only a playable card in a prepaid voice pad deck that could really cheat the thing. Not at all. And I do think a lot of these like runner anarch events, like if you can in the meta play Ghost Tongue, obviously they're a fair bit better. Like we've seen so many events today. Are they running server 11 though? Server 4.
Interesting.
Okay, Amani is actually really important because it does do a lot of damage.
Yeah, and we've been bottoming all the other Amanis we've seen.
Yeah, well, we have a shuffle right now with Maryland though, so
true.
You want to go all scramble. Also, audit the part about trashing the ice to resolve that subroutine doesn't mention it must be done in the same window. Yeah, that sort of timing granularity, I'm not entirely sure about. Like understanding that the ice is technically trashed when it's firing, so it doesn't have counters. Like that stuff is important. Oh yeah, so they're saving a click here or a credit, excuse me. I thought there's a card named after me. Oh, the raring job. Is that the one with the Aminga art? I think that's the first Aminga we've seen.
Yes, that does have Aminga art.
Okay. All right, so there's a thing we have to res. And now we can score out our first ever agenda. And this is where getting another on the table would have been good.
Let's do Maryland first.
Maryland, yeah. Maryland.
We are going to shuffle.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, that's good.
And which of these do we?
We want the money.
We
want the money.
We want Amani.
We want a money.
Yeah.
We want a money.
We want Amani.
We want our money.
But we're actually going to.
Yeah, we just square out. Yeah. Just give him a tag.
Okay, so res this.
Install advance. We have no credits.
Boom.
But we're technically tied on points.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our economy is the entire Maryland campaign. If they trash the Maryland campaign, we are done.
Yep.
But the biggest thing about this deck is that nobody knows how to break Endless Eula. Ooh, Centrals? Are they deep diving? They actually probably are deep diving.
That would make a lot of sense. Yeah.
They can't. Oh, they can interact with Bologna. They do have those 3 credits that are on the Netrunner they can use for anything.
True.
So I do think this deck is on like 1 twinning, 2 deep dive. What? Oh, that's into the depths. Yeah, that's.
Oh, and they know we can't res this, so that's fine. They're not going to steal the Beal. They're not going to steal
the fact that we trashed the twinning. If we didn't, you know how quickly we would.
I know. Yeah. For 100%. Well, what can you do about that? You're gonna trash that? Spend all your money on that?
They can't get extra clicks though. This is just going to be a single access, right? Yeah. There's no way for this deck to get extra clicks. It's becoming a cleaver meta. Yeah, is he right? Like the criminals are running cleaver. They didn't deep dive us. Oh, because they had the tag.
There we go.
Wait, we can square out another agenda.
And we will.
We will. Take the bladder word.
We're gonna keep the bladder word.
It says money on it.
Yeah.
I think we will.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
And then next turn.
Because they might have Clot in the deck. Some of them do, because they came from Worlds where Clot was important. Amani Sinai would have been cool.
Yeah, but she wasn't there, was she?
She wasn't there. When you need her the most sometimes. Gotta kill her Bridget, right? Yeah, you know, right? Smoke move over to Inspiration over SMC. Maybe the problem with Inspiration is that you have to build certain decks. Like, I don't think you can play Inspiration Smoke specifically because you're running Mantle. Like, if you Inspire for a Mantle, it's honestly not the worst, but like you can do better with it. But it's not the worst. Like, I think paying 3 cards to get a 1 credit out of your deck for a single click, which is the worst case of the card, is still probably playable. Yeah, doubled your score. Yo, we're now just like, we have to figure out how to fast demand to Bologna.
Yeah, we can do it, whatever.
We'll figure it out.
No, there's one more AR, and then we'll do a 3-2.
They're down to 16 cards, mind you. They only started with 41 usually.
Oh, wow,
maybe 40.
We've got to do more net damage.
There's a soft implication that it's meant to be done on encounter only, but it's written there's no actual reason for that to be true for Zato. Yeah, the text is like surprising. All right, they're using those credits to place your gamble. So now they're back in the money. So you see their plan right now is just to lock the top of R&D so we can't draw into the agendas. And admittedly, there's only 2 more 3/2s in the deck. But because of Daily Business Show, which they're not respecting, we actually are drawing unknown cards.
Yeah, it's true. Like they could trash this, and that would really solidify the lock, but
make the lock happen.
It's not happening.
Yeah. Hey, Macaroni, you didn't miss much. We're 1 game in. How's it going? How's your spoiler season been? How's Friday? Credit. Nice.
All right, perfect. We make a little bit of money.
Just enough. You pad.
I guess we take the pad.
We need every card that says money.
All right, so this goes behind Enigma.
But you do the one that draws first, right?
Right, yeah. So Amani.
Probably do the Mani. You're likely we're going to have to res it, which is kind of ugly. Okay. You just put everything on the table. So the only thing they know that we have in our hand is a pad campaign, and whatever we drew, I think Eula, they know we have. I think those are the 2 things. Penrith is coming down. That's HQ pressure.
That's going to be a Steve. There we go.
If they're a deep dive, actually, I'm surprised that they're doing Steve. But here they can get their operations back, and our ice on HQ is resable. Res it, you have to res it. I don't think you can question it. Just want to share that I'm setting up an Apex gunslinging deck for PAX as I watch this. Does it have spoilers in it, Sanjay?
Yeah, all those Apex cards that do not exist.
I don't know. Maybe you play. I think we see the numbers. It looks like there might be 2 neutral runner cards. I'm pretty sure I saw the sheet and someone like mathed it out.
I do love the people who are mathing it out. It reminds me of like 4 is Flatline from
back in the day.
Board Game Geek.
Yeah, those are good.
Trying to figure out what was in opening moves.
Yeah, I like those. I don't have the name of who exactly posted that, but I'm a huge fan.
You can take back Creative Commission.
Spin Dock. Dang. That is our last one. Because they trashed one in archives. Can you check archives just to make sure we're on the same page? Yeah. That's the... No, there's one more. There's one more. We're good.
Yeah, okay.
It's this week's spoilers plus 1 spoiler released on PAX U on NSG socials. Ooh, Sanjay, when is that? Is everyone who's gunslinging has to play it? Everyone has like their whale deck or whatever? I still truly remember take 4 meat damage frown a euro, dude. I don't know what that means, Hope. All right, so we're at 0 credits and they're on 11 plus 1.
Ah, damn.
Yeah, we can't res anything. So ordering here matters. If the thing isn't res during start of turn, it doesn't fire. So you can't use like the Maryland credits to res something else at start of turn. Monty's does something.
All right, so put away the Mavaris.
Yeah. You don't have to do anything, but I hope they do. Okay.
I think, I don't know, Amani credit,
Yeah.
or like, well, maybe we should put this over R&D just for the sake of having something on R&D.
Yeah, because we're gonna lose R&D. But
Well,
you
let's
do the
do
draw
Amani first. Yeah.
That's fine.
And put this on.
They're gonna go HQ all the time. That's an issue. Actually, we might need to put that on HQ and click for credit because like stopping Steve value is more valuable than anything else we can do right now.
Fair.
Because that's how they get money. Otherwise, their deck actually runs out of economy. And she doesn't have a link, so she's gonna pay 3 to run through that.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, here we're not gonna be able to bladder it if we force the res.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if we do shut down Steve, we shut down so much of the value. Like Steve is just absurd amount of value for one influence. Back when Netrunner had recently come out, there was a board game geek competition. It was one of the memes that came out. Oh, cool.
I guess we res it.
Yeah.
Just to make it a little bit difficult.
I think you have to. Because also this protects the Bologna, right?
Yep.
You know they have to use 2 stealth credits to deal with the other one. They bypass it so they don't lose the credit too, right? When the runner encounters.
Well, they bypass
whenever
it for
you
Sentry.
encounter.
Yeah.
So are they bypassing all of it? I forget how that works. Whenever you are encountering? Whenever you encounter, not when you are encountering. So I think it works, yeah. Undo click.
Okay, well,
I think they just want the
game
paperclip or
loss.
not. Yeah, fire all. Okay. So they just didn't want a paperclip. So this is 3 credits.
Not going to boost.
That's fine.
Not going to boost.
Mantle says using programs or
Sorry. Hardware and programs. Right, because there's some like stealth hardware. There's like interesting hardware in that set.
Safecracker, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Did I do it correctly? Okay, cool.
Yeah, they paid 3. It's a 1 and 3 here for it to be a blowout, and it's a really bad blowout because then they're on game point.
It won't happen.
All right, so they don't lose the on encounter. Steve first. I hate the tension of Steve, where you're waiting for the horrible single.
Waiting for them to choose which 2 identical
choose,
things. Yeah. Okay.
Ah, that's bad.
Yep.
Here you'd love to have an Amani, right? Like you res an Amani there.
No, I agree.
You
I know. I'd love to.
Oh, now we lose the single access.
Well, then we can move on to talking about.
No, we do another one. We do another one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's a deep dive. That we lose to that.
This is a deep dive for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. GG. Good.
There we go.
Yeah.
There's a couple of those.
That's the thing. I don't understand any deck that can deal with assets. This deck doesn't feel like it has a game plan.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was nothing proactive we were doing because we were constantly like having no money. I don't know. I've been really harsh. I've been very frustrated playtesting this one, and obviously a huge shout out to this one an event and it did well. But I don't understand this. Am I missing something? To some extent, I think we played our opening wrong, and that's like the opening. Unfortunately for this is so important. Like say we had to score it on turn 1, then they can't. Of course,
that's a totally different game.
It's a totally different game. So I feel like we can't be too harsh. But I've always struggled with this list. Like I don't understand it. It doesn't have any teeth. It's just a bunch of assets, and then I hope you don't trash them.
Yeah.
Like can we just lose 5 influence and play controlling the message and have less card draw? Bladder, we're controlling the message. Is that good? That's like the deck that Brandon was playing, right? The king. Sorry, bud. You have to go back and we're not losing that fast.
Okay.
Yeah, Lending the Ares is a whole different game. It's entirely different. It's like you actually have it's the controlling the message part of the ID ability. That's the part that actually like protects your assets that like they should trash every economy asset. Like if they trash the Maryland campaigns, did we have a game?
No, of course
we
not.
had no game. Oh man, it's really weird to me.
It's fine. It's fine. We're gonna do this.
It's a weird flip because maybe it's just me, but I don't know what Kalis is, but I know what Netrunner is. Maybe that's a test of time thing. It's always the interesting thing when it comes to like board game geek hotness. How many of those games are relevant or known? And I think Kalis is. I've heard that name actually. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But how many of those games that are on hotness actually remain to be relevant board games within 2 to 5 years? And I'm not saying that we should only be playing classics. And there's something to that. Like, yeah, it's fun. Play whatever you want.
I would agree if you said that like the hotness is, it's not an accurate representation of the broader board game community. It's not a good representation of what's a good game by any means.
Yeah.
Like you know, things that are on Kickstarter, they go up, they rise at the hot
huge hotness.
Push, and like that, that's meaningless if something's on. All right, let's do this.
I had a very similar thing happen when I was playing in Acid Corp and Limited and punted in Ares. Oh man, yeah, Limited.
I'm gonna.
Oh, okay, so it's Sable. So generally Sable's value proposition is obviously all about central servers.
Yep.
And so she's going to be playing some amount of Chesvas, which means that she can trash things from R&D and steal bonus pretty trivially. So generally one ice on HQ is really important. We're playing standard. That's kind of the weird thing. You see these two cards, you think you're playing startup. Usually that's at least the way I see it. So we generally want to mulligan to one of our ice. Extra games are always 90% plastic, 10% game. Yeah, sometimes it's better than others. But I understand the pessimism.
I was just talking. You moved my cursor away.
Oh, I didn't know I took a charge of that. Yeah, that's mulligan.
I'm gonna mulligan this.
Yeah. That's good. That's actually good. I tried to Slay the Spire big game on TTS, and oh my god, it's so clunky. I love TTS. Oh my, sorry, I love Slay the Spire. We were talking about Slice and Dice. Slice and Dice, I've been having such a good time with Slice and Dice.
Slice and Dice, I am really enjoying Slice and Dice. Thank you for introducing me to Slice and Dice.
Slice and Dice is so good.
Okay, let's start this up.
Yeah, hold on. I'm just gonna reframe everything because we messed it up. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand the Slay the Spire board game hype. Like, it's a playing co-ops with Slay the Spire. I know there's mods to already do that. That's like the pull to me, but it just seems like, I don't know, fiddly for no reason. Just painfully slow compared to the original. Yeah, it's so fast.
All right, so this is interesting. We've got one asset.
We play that asset because if they don't trash it, we score an Ares.
True.
You ice HQ, you don't get doofed. So you do it with Enigma, so they can't trace through it.
Yep.
Well, the trace is fine. And then you just click for a credit. Now, potentially if they run HQ and we res, so their mark is HQ. So unfortunately, we're probably not going to be on 5 credits. Or actually, sometimes you don't res. You only res when the doof is. I think we can let in a free 1 in 5. Unless like they play Jailbreak or something.
Did you guys play Across the Obelisk? I think I've heard of that. Maybe I've wishlisted or something.
Hello, my handsome gentleman. He's talking to you.
Oh my god. Stop it, Mela.
Hey Mela, how's it going? No, I don't think Frank. How's it going, by the way? I think I've heard that name. I think you mentioned that name last time, right?
Maybe we all just like saying the word obelisk.
We do.
Like that takes me back to Command and Conquer. You got a nod obelisk. Well,
it's once again far too early in Europe. My Patrick alert went off. That's half of Europe. It's a cooperative Slay the Spire, right? I really enjoyed playing with a friend, but yeah, it didn't make sense to back it. Yeah, it's a big production too. It's definitely doing well. Slay the Spire is kind of sick. And also, for those who don't know, Slay the Spire was made by like a person who was really big in the Netrunner community a while. Oh, that's a misplay, unfortunately.
Yeah, totally.
We're gonna capitalize on it. You have to pre-res that because it needs to get power counters. It's technically a start a turn. Yeah. So now we can't get duped because we don't have money, and now the trashables. So now we spend 3 clicks. So this card gets a power counter at the start of every turn, and then you can spend 3 clicks to add an agenda of the same point value to your score area.
Equal, not at least or
same,
or
yes.
Yeah, it has to be exact. So we can only do a 1-pointer, and next turn we can only do a 2-pointer.
Which we'd have to top deck because
So let's just do it.
Yeah, but now it's protecting itself, so it's 4 and a tag. But our economy is busted, but at least now our bladderworts are more scared.
We'll get a bladderwort out there eventually.
Cross the Obelisk is a separate deck builder roguelite. It's party-based co-op fights. I did. It's on Steam. I really like it. Deck building game with different class of characters. Oh, cool. I think I pulled this up on Steam. One of the other streams.
I would certainly play a co-op deck building game one of these days.
Yeah. Oh man.
We should do that on stream sometime.
Shut Up and Sit Down just gave a recommending review for it's here. Recommended review for Undaunted. What's
Stalingrad?
Stalingrad now. It's gonna sell it everywhere.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. One day I used LL to windmill government take over my score area. Solmare, we played decks back in the day with Blue Sun where our score pattern was Global Food Initiative into Vanity Project for so you can get 2. And it worked. It worked pretty good because you were Blue Sun. I have successfully built standard and started decks to bring the packs to you and double check that they match the list I wrote up for standard and written receipts for the shared cards to slip in. Shame I can't make Thanksgiving, but the rest of it seems to be blast. Yo, Izzy, best of luck. Let us know how it goes for sure.
Now they're trashing this, but it's too late. We've gotten everything we've wanted from this.
That's the thing too, is that they see the top of R&D, they know they don't have to trash this. Like it's such a small risk if you see the top of R&D, but hey, they took a tag. We're kind of ahead here. Yeah, money. Looking for credits is more important. Yeah, I know sometimes it just seems like it blows.
Yeah,
I think you click for credit and then probably ice up.
Not even install something else.
Yeah, you can install a second one and click for credit.
But definitely click for credit.
I'm afraid. No, that's all good. Tell Sam they're doing good.
It's
all good. What's Thanksgiving? I reckon it's part of the Pack C thing.
Just have to specify.
Yeah. All right, they're drawn out. Yeah, so this is the issue that I've also run in with Virtuoso is Virtuoso is a console. So it comes at the slot of generally an econ card in these criminal decks. So I do think unless Sam can spin up, I'm not too sure exactly what the economy has to be, but yeah, it can get difficult. Yeah, now we just windmill at stuff and click for credits. And we just need to establish this part of the game plan before we can start scoring out behind Eula's.
Yep.
And Eula's only weak to inside job. Everything else criminal has doesn't deal with it well. Like
Yeah, true.
Boomerang is neutral. Carpe Diem, they're gonna access HQ here because it is a mark. So they run this for free. So we are gonna have to ice up potentials, and they steal the one. Oh, we should have rezzed the. Do we have a Sinai? Yeah, we messed up.
Totally right.
Yeah, we should have rezzed.
My bad.
Actually, it's a 1 in 5, and I think we'd rather have economy. So I don't think it's a huge mess. If we get Duke here, it's not bad. Oh, Bravado. What's the ice? Can't res it. Okay.
Enigma can't res it anyway.
Just giving it ID plus 3 random cards to get full playsets and 5 additional influence. Oh my, that sounds fun.
Wait, Andre's bad mouthing the mighty virtuoso. Oh, you mean the card, not me?
Yeah.
My nickname, of course, is the virtuoso.
The mighty virtuoso.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 credits.
Okay, so we need to ice up all centrals. So
Yes.
you get the better one on R&D, the worst one on archives. And even if we can't res them, we'll pretend we can. Because like that's how we lose. You can just lose the virtuoso. That's the issue.
Credit or
probably planogram, yeah, because we have to res the stuff. And like by the time we res ice, we will be underneath Bladderwort when that shows up. If it shows up. Congrats on your deck list. I've been feebly working on Eternal deck list with little progress. Ixon, are you playing at is there Eternal? Or yeah, I don't know if it's attached to Paxi or not. Is that Paxi this year?
Not gonna bother resing that.
Yeah, for sure. Otherwise they're gonna keep that thing there all game and we lose.
Yeah, but if we res that, then nothing else gets.
That's fine. The mark's on HQ.
Fair enough.
Like that's where the value is this turn. But yeah, we have to use the boomerang, or they're just gonna keep running HQ all game. And right now we know this is not a good run, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, their mark was HQ, so Virtuoso didn't even get them an extra benefit there.
Yep, it was just access 3 cards, but not enough. So the economy's okay.
Steelskin Scarring, cool.
That's cool.
I like including that.
Yeah. For example, I can't make it, but if I could, I would be building kit with the influence free. Always have a backup plan. Chisel and GS Sherman. Sherman's the fractor, right?
Yeah, it's the Sunny Fractor that breaks all Cyberteens. Come on.
That's fine.
Oh,
We have more of those.
we do.
It's
not the same.
Yeah. All right, we'll be on 2 credits. Or 3, excuse me.
Oh.
4. Okay, we'll get
Math.
Okay, so we're gonna need some amount of money. Drawing is a bit risky if we can't raise everything. I think there's a chance a click for 3 is correct. Because like,
But
what are we
why?
drawing into? Well, because we need to res our central ice, and if we draw into an ice and it doesn't go anywhere, they run R&D and then they virtuoso it.
Okay, so install this click for credits, or
I don't even know if we install this turn, because like, what can we possibly draw into? 2 of our pad campaigns are here. Our Bladderworts we can't protect. So like the cards that we're drawing into, it's a narrowing list.
I think that this economy is about to get trashed,
That's fine.
and we should have backup economy.
That's fine. If they do that, they can't get into our ice. I kind of rubbed your arm real nice there at the
Yeah,
end on accident.
We've been softly caressing each other this whole evening.
I think you should click for 3, man. I don't know, because like if we draw into Bologna, we kind of lose the game.
Mm-hmm.
That might not be wrong. Like obviously you want to use your ability, but I just don't know what we're drawing into. We've seen 2 to 3 pads.
Patrick referring to himself as the mighty virtuoso exclusively sounds like a dangerous escalation.
Oh man,
I don't know what you mean, and I'm going to pretend I don't know what you mean.
So Mark is HQ again. I think we're quite happy with that. We'll see if it's going to be, I reckon, just boomerangs. It's fine. Like this is the thing. Sometimes, and I think it's kind of up to the player to do this, but sometimes virtuoso is directing the show. Is the conductor. So like you see this, I'm going to run HQ. Which in theory here, this is only 1 new card, right? Like this is not a particularly valuable access.
So this is not
It's
a
free,
bow,
though.
but a baton.
Yeah.
Yes. I went to see an orchestra
Oh, they
recently.
trashed that and took a tag. I don't think they realized that. They like value tracked
true,
from the
yeah.
bias,
Of
and
course,
then-
that they see 0, they go, yeah.
Yeah, take it down. Earthrise. Okay. All right. Well, now we're ahead on credits.
There we go.
All right. Like,
Okay.
Literally, maybe click 3. Maybe you install the EULA. Maybe you install the EULA. Yeah, let's install the EULA.
But where?
I
New
can't-
server?
It's weird because new server's right, but we need another ice on HQ.
New server's right
yeah,
there.
yeah. There's no way that the mark can be HQ 3 times in a row. That's improbable.
New remote.
Perfect.
Install that server.
Yeah. Credit.
And credit.
Let's go.
We've got it. Anyway, I went to see I don't know if you call it an orchestra, if it's all wind instruments,
Why not?
but I went to see the Super Mario Galaxy video game music performed in Montreal. Like there's a Quebec orchestra that just does video game and movie music.
Cool.
It was actually really lovely.
Was that at PDA or?
No, it was like northeast area. I can't remember exactly what. It's like close to the end of the orange line that's still on the island.
This is fun.
That's kind of fine.
This is fun. 5 cards and a tag in this economy.
It had really great accompaniment by the wetly coughing toddler about 1 seat behind me.
I was trying to. I was like, "Who's wetly coughing?"
Yeah. No, it was just really lovely.
Yeah.
All right, this gets shuffled in.
You know how much I love a DBS right now? Do we just biotic that? No, that would be nonsense,
That's
right?
no,
That's
that's
nonsense.
nonsense.
I thought about it.
But we
Quick to draw.
Quick to draw in
I
any
used server
age.
6 and put the Beal behind it.
And now it's a slow Beal.
Yeah, no, you just score these Beals. They put the Mario into the real world. That also sounds like a dangerous escalation. He's wily, but he helps with the plumbing.
People hate that Mario has Chris Pratt's real voice, but they love that Luigi has Charlie Day's real voice.
Yeah, but we're okay with that.
Because that's the way the world is. That is
Yeah.
that is the correct reflection of reality.
Yeah, the kind of heel turn on Chris Pratt is
Yeah.
it's surprising. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think anyone connects those two names in a meaningful way. I don't think we're saying anything new here on the internet, but
no, I suspect I'm more online than you are.
Yeah.
But even I'm not exactly sure why we're against Chris Pratt.
I think he was everywhere.
Yeah,
and I think he also got into political. He had
he's
political
like
takes
part
that
of
people
a
disagreed
church
with. Yes, that
I'm.
showed up.
You know what?
Yeah.
In order to avoid religious discrimination, I'm not going to continue that thought.
Yeah, but the internet did not like what he's up to.
Mm-hmm.
He's also just kind of everywhere, right? Like people get tired of people.
Yeah, we got so tired of him. Like he's not an action star, but people put him in every action movie for a while, and it's exhausting. Remember Passengers, the movie he was in with Jennifer Lawrence?
I didn't. That one sounded really creepy. Okay, so this is good. So we have to start turn. Okay, so you just res score. And then we return the Virtuoso, which honestly feels kind of like sinful. Trace, don't boost that.
No, we're not going to boost.
So do you want to pay 7 credits for the Virtuoso? Because wait, we don't pick the card first? Oh my god, we don't pick the card first? I forgot about that. That's so much nicer. So they don't know what the value is. Is it 3 credits to draw 2 cards, or is it 3 credits for the music? It's not 3 credits to draw 2 cards.
No,
Carver. That's
100%.
weird.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just 3 credits.
Okay.
So now we're gonna lose the tomorrow's headline in HQ,
which is medium okay.
Yeah.
Could be worse.
Put some on game point though. They haven't played a Chesva yet, and if he does, I think the Bolognas get way less defensible. Chesva is also one of the best ways you can possibly deal with
going on Boomerang. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Archives. Oh, interesting.
You have to res that. It's a Carpe Diem. You just res it.
Yeah, I guess so.
So they Boomerang that, and now they have a 1 in 3 of stealing a They got our 1 in 5, right?
Yes.
So when we had a Gens, they had a 1 in 5. Now it's a 1 in 3. We'll see how lucky we are.
Yeah, Passengers was like a sci-fi movie with such a problematic premise, but no one involved seemed to really recognize it in the process of making it, which is so sad. Huh?
What's happening? Huh. Okay. Well,
I mean,
that's going to be 3 more credits for Money Tonight.
Do we boost this one?
No. So this is the problem about boosting, right?
Okay.
Like we're making them say, do you want to spend no credits or some credits? And I think we'd rather them spend some credits because they probably don't reinstall this. Wait, no, that's wrong. This is wrong.
No, this is multi-access. We get rid of this.
Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we have a pad campaign. Virtuoso OP. Yeah, you see it right now. Just wait till tomorrow. Okay, I'm actually quite scared about that. Yeah, man. I wonder if we can print for Virtuoso support. They also have a tag, so they probably weren't going to pay into it. Wanted to be tragedy, but then I realized it could never be.
Yeah, exactly. Like that movie should have been much more of a tragedy, and it would have kind of absorbed the problematic aspect of the plot, but didn't really get there.
We can draw 3.
Like it could have been a Cold Equations kind of thing, but that would never happen with Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt. Yeah, draw one more.
We had to draw 3.
We had to draw 3.
That's okay. Jam in server 6. Click for credit. Actually, don't click for credit. We should have played the planogram.
Well, okay. Well, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
That was
that
was a bad turn, man.
Now they don't know we have the planogram.
Wait for tomorrow for his scoops, shout out scoops. It looks like it's unclear. Your singer might be talking about either. Does getting to choose your mark make Virtuoso playable? Hey Solomir, I think getting to choose your mark would be poisonous. I think Virtuoso is probably still playable. It's just like it is. I think you need one more economy card in criminal deck for it to be like really playable. But I think choosing your mark would be a very, very quite strong. You basically have an ID ability written on this console. It'd be like run archives, access HQ always. Yeah,
I agree. I wouldn't want them to print cards that kind of subdue the fun of it. The kind of the fun, like like Mark is a balanced mechanic. It's weird to print something that directly contradicts it, like playing 0 before you play Typhoid Mary.
I see what
Everyone,
you- I see
everyone in
what you
chat
did.
trying
Yeah,
to
yeah,
knows
yeah.
exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Andre, I wanted you to know that I appreciate your Bathanas mention in the Wayland video. Yeah, but honestly, yeah, it kind of works. You can kind of do it. Ian, 4 credits to run archives and access HQ busted, never seen in Netrunner. Yeah, R&D is technically better.
If this is a Bologna, we're dead.
R&D is technically better because you get the access, but I know what you mean. It doesn't take up MU, it gives you MU. So, but yeah, it's obviously very comparable. All right, we'll be on 7 credits. So to fast advance out, we need 8. Oh, we can biotic for 7, but we generally don't want to. I'm sure now the cam is losing focus every now and then. Yeah, it still is losing focus.
Ooh, they saw this and didn't trash it.
Yeah, that makes sense. We have too much money.
Install it?
Yeah, like we're just trying to not die on centrals. This feels so bad.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, you don't mass draw click 2 because then they just run HQ and win. So you've installed that click for credit. I forgot where the focus button is on my camera. Like earlier today.
It's true. He was asking me, and I'm like, I don't know.
Figure out where the balance button
is. It the F button?
Wait, actually? Like, this is my camera, and I've had it for a long time.
A very long time.
And yet I can't figure out how to turn off autofocus. I did it like a second ago when Pao was here.
Someone should make it. Someone should make that video. I don't know if anyone's making it. I don't know who is committed to making startup content. Was that Retromancer was doing that for a while, I think?
I definitely have been making obviously startup content. I will want to do a video talking about startup rotation. Doing that before or after release, it'll probably be after release to be like, this stuff goes, this can take its place, but I definitely want to. The singer says, I feel comfortable saying Bathana Zato is something we tested. Okay, that's good to know. Honestly, there we could have considered resing the pad campaign. The Sansan to dip to 4.
That's true. Wasn't thinking about that.
Yeah, they threw out a cleaver. That's cool.
Okay. Install to draw.
Yeah. Put that in server 6. No, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is server 6.
Boot trigger bladder. I agree. That we should not click for credit. Can do that. Is there an easy template? I'm not sure, but that I think the start rotation is kind of large to make a video about 130 cards. Just get 3 cards instead, because we're gonna need to res this ice and Sansan.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like bladder would be damned. Sorry. We're gonna need to get that. Yeah, I don't know what to do with the focus thing. I'll be honest. Like panicking trying to do things live. It stresses me out. Live content, huh? If you need any help with recording that video, happy to help however I can. Yeah, no, starter rotation is like kind of the wildest thing. It is all the fundamentals fall apart.
I'm excited for it because it's so many fundamental, like SMC, Rizeki, obviously. And then on the corp side, like
daily casts.
Yeah, daily cast. Wow. A world without daily cast.
You raise the Eula, and then if they break it, they can't steal Bologna.
Oh, because Boomerang only does 2.
Yeah, it's technically worse than not.
Mm-hmm.
Not too bad. I just figured out you might want to know. No, thank you. No, but I think it's an issue because normally every time Pat's here, we turn off the autofocus. Oh, it's right here. It's because I was in photo mode. Okay, it's off. Hold on. So I'll be here, which is where we should be, and then turn on manual focus.
Should I be looking at the camera for something?
No, you're good. So now they can't steal Bologna, but they could still win if they hit a Beal and then like all the 1-pointers or one pointer. Okay.
Or nothing.
Or nothing.
All right, I'll take it.
Too.
Now, I still wish we had Daily Business Show.
Yeah.
But we have this, which will help break.
I do think we start doing net damage to them. Like I do think you duck. You res.
Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. All right, I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Just wait for a click.
Yeah. Let's see what their last click is.
Not much they can do here besides credit. Oh, they could draw. Again, they're respecting the tag. If they didn't respect the tag, we have 1 psycho. Like they could. I think the economy is the bigger issue. You do Rashida, but then you do the wrong ordering. What's this?
This is Maryland.
Oh, that's fine. Whatever.
All right. So we do Rashida.
Start a turn and you just do Bladderwort first. Mandatory. You do Bladderwort. Got a breaker seems important.
Okay, we got getting rid of breaker.
Rashida, and then we'll draw into a 3-2. Just kidding, we'll draw into those. That's fine. You just put them in the remote server, right? House Protect is a remote server?
I mean, Eula and Turnpike.
So Turnpike sort of works. So you install.
I'm okay with these.
You install the Bellina. We lose like overclock, right?
Yeah.
They could diversion us. How bad would that be? Kind of bad.
Yeah.
I think it's just you have to advance it once. That's a problem.
That kind of gives
they know away. That we have this. They saw that at the top of our game. Biotic. What can we do with Biotic? Because we need 4 advancements on this, right? So we're short.
Yeah. So like maybe Biotic next turn. Like we make some money.
Oh, Biotic next turn. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
So maybe I'll just install this. Take credit.
That doesn't make you money. That
Right.
makes HQ.
Oh, and also makes HQ a bit worse. So maybe
Yeah,
just take
I
two.
think you just
credits.
take 2 because we need to res all this stuff, but we could still
Mhm.
lose. Yeah, we're off by 1 biotic, but Izzy, you're right. We can biotic next turn.
Mhm.
The cool thing about
1,
bioticking
2,
now is
3,
like
4.
it might get us a bladderwort, which kind of is sort of relevant, but they just
Mhm.
need to click for credits and pressure centrals because they know that we have a Bologna. That might be the one in server 6. But we also could still have an HQ. Jokes on them. It's both. But they lost a cleaver. They lost. They discarded their cleaver.
Yep. They volunteered their cleaver.
Yeah.
And cleaver would wreck a Eula.
Yes.
Huh.
Destroy it. But I think now that's just gonna get bounced to hand, unfortunately for them. So order doesn't matter. Okay. So biotic score. You don't often see this. So this Sansen lowers advancement cost, so this becomes a 4. So it actually is credit positive. Just kidding. We played a biotic. And then we do trace.
Then we're gonna bounce
5,
this back to
So it
hand,
goes back to hand, yeah.
which they can't do anything about, which is very funny.
Yo, Yusengren, I shared with you the code I used to put cards on screen, like this thing. I don't know if you use it, but man, let me tell you, it's kind of sick. I think you'd like it. It's like the script. Yeah, that's really unfortunate on the other side of the table when you spend your whole turn installing a breaker and it gets returned to hand after a fast advance. Well, not exactly fast advance, but you know what I mean? So now if we ever top deck a 3-2, we win.
Or just install this and advance it. Like they're super poor.
Yeah. Yeah. Inside, we just have to make sure we have 8 credits so we can not lose the inside job. But they need inside job and
we
5.
will, yeah.
Yeah, we'll be fine. I have all the card images. Ixaran, if you want to show card images on screen, what I'll do, and it's a bit different than what Jeff does.
Welcome back.
It's Cat's Great all day. Is that I will basically import a PNG called preview, and I'll put a card there. This works if you want to show 1 or 2 cards, and then I'll make a batch file, like a very simple script. And what I'll do with the script is basically when I run it, it will replace preview.png, which will be overridden by whatever card I want to assign to that button to that macro. So I have 1 image, so I don't have to install like 13 different or like 300 different sources into OBS. And then I just run a script that replaces and installs the card onto that same source. So yeah, it's a lot easier, I think. Yeah, that's not wrong. I was really excited to do Wolfram Alpha yesterday. I was like, any excuse to do that.
I like that the only math question. Well, I don't want to spoil it, but I like that I like the answer to that math question.
Yeah, it's a very good answer to the math question. Fiddle with browser source and make your own card pop up.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you could do that if you know the API. Like the API you can access and then just import that in crop, which I think is what Sanger does.
Doesn't matter.
No, we just draw 3. We win.
And then we win.
Yeah, and we get to return their whole board to hand.
Very funny.
Okay, so that's a better example of what the deck can do, which is, you know, score an AR and then they kind of give up on our board. But like, we had no economy. If they just did nothing but trash all their stuff, the only problem that we present is, can you deal with an endless EULA?
Yeah, and also this time we did get AR out much sooner, thanks to Lady Liberty, which again, like, yes, they should have trashed the Lady Liberty that early.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, you're hoping that they don't have it. We mulligan, so the chance of us having it's like not amazing.
Fair enough. Yeah, Lady Liberty,
it's a bit of a blowout.
to know.
Yeah, you too. It's a bit of a blowout, that's for sure. Oh, cheers. Okay. I spelled that wrong. It's fine. We're gonna talk about some spoilers. We're gonna do what's it called? We're gonna do some news now.
Oh, is it news time?
Yeah, we got some news.
Spoilers time. Why did I sing that?
It's fun.
What? God, I don't know, man. The stream brings something out in me.
Thanks again. All right. So, what we're gonna do today? We talked about this before. There's a fair few people tuning in. I guess a lot of people are hyped for the new set. Obviously, maybe you're also new to the channel. I think that might be worth saying. Maybe there's a chance that you saw the spoilers video that was put out here yesterday. Firstly,
oh my god, do you see that dip? That's what I sang.
Yeah, I know.
We lost 30 viewers when I sang.
Welcome to the channel.
Yeah. Hey everybody, welcome to the channel.
This is an old friend, Pat, who's been part of the channel. Drops by once a month at least, for better for worse. And we just
whether I have to or not.
Whether once or not, whether we have to or not. Got to clip the news time from Patrick to use the transition. Yeah, I
know.
I have the tape.
Honestly, that would be very funny. Just like, I mean, that's a button now. You got a Patrick button.
So we're gonna go through some news. There's a lot of spoilers, so if you've been staying tuned, the new set of course shows up. 65 cards shows up. I think it's actually less than 65 cards.
Yeah, I think we're at 63.
I think we're at 63.
I think the total
cards.
will be 128 cards in the whole Borealis Cycle.
which shouldn't be a surprise because in a very early article, they said there would be a commercial grade. What are they called?
There would be a 6 of card.
Which is, classically consumer grade.
6 per deck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm not sure. I can't remember if we.
Yes.
Well, I shouldn't,
because
say
there
it,
was
but-
a list of a long time ago of things that they said. There'd be like Shaper Cybernetics. There
Yeah.
will be a weapon subtype.
Yeah.
There will be
A
a
vehicle
consumer
subtype.
grades, a vehicle subtype.
New-
Yeah.
Did they mention like agendas of a certain number?
I think they said there'd be a bunch of 2-1s.
Okay, yeah.
And I think we've seen
Being very careful about what I know and what I can say.
Yeah.
Because we've seen one of the 2-1s, and I think they said there'd be 3.
I think that sounds right. And if you want to track this, like somebody, I want to shout out the name because they did a really great job with this. Basically put together a tracker where you can kind of attach the numbers to things. And you might be thinking like, oh, that's, kind of, why is that necessary? A big thing about that is you can tell what belongs to what set.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is, where is it? It should be here.
It was early.
This is.
Yeah, tracker and number crunch.
Yeah. So the idea here, and I don't know
So
how
cool.
often this is updated, but shout outs to Chaos of 99.
Mhm.
So the idea here is that you see all the cards and the numbers. These were revealed today, for instance, at the sources. That's fantastic. So you can go jump and see where they come from and see the conversation.
Yeah.
Some of these were spoiled earlier into the season. The Sahasra card is still hidden by name. I think that's phenomenal, but that kind of spoils it. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
And it goes on and goes on. So
So they're using the numbers at the bottom of like the set number of the cards to figure out how many of at each given faction there are.
Yes.
Like if you scroll back up, like we know that card 74 is Anarch. We know card 75 is Criminals, which means there's no more Anarch cards after 74.
yeah.
That's the logic of this. I just want to explain it for anyone who's not following.
Now, if the logic technically isn't bulletproof, in theory, this only hopes that Null Signal Games releases cards. Because generally when cards are released, it's always like the IDs first, then usually the events, then the programs and the resources. I don't think that's always true. I think that was different in System Gateway. Yes, it might have been. But like,
Also, I brought up somewhere, I can't remember. Oh no, what was it yesterday where I brought up the lunar cycle? They flipped.
they flipped it.
Yeah, they flipped things
yeah.
about.
That's the way that I think it. I always think it's corp first.
Yeah.
Things that are interesting. So we spoiled a bunch of Wayland stuff here, and specifically 128 seems to be that's the last card in the set, and that has to be a neutral identity.
That's right.
Because Null Signal said there will be neutral identities. I think they said identities. I don't know if they said identity, which means that there will be a competitive, standard legal, startup legal, neutral corporation identity. Whatever that means, we don't know. In terms of what agendas you can put into your deck, that's always the biggest question. And then if you look at neutral runner, and this is kind of wild because there is no neutral cards whatsoever in Midnight Sun, is that it looks like there's going to be identity and then a single neutral card.
Yep.
Now, I don't, in terms of neutral cards, is it alphabetical? No,
it's
not.
alphabetical within
Yes,
card type.
within type, it's alphabetical. So for instance, here, this kind of shows you like the ID is first, then the agendas. However, though, like Thula will go ahead of.
Wait a second.
No, it's agenda asset. I read that wrong.
Oh, agenda asset. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Okay.
So it's alphabetical within things. So if you see the operations, D goes for H for the region. So yeah. Upgrades. Oh, Hendrik upgrade. Right. Anyways, so that's really fascinating to know that there's not going to be a lot of neutral cards. I think neutral cards are generally pretty, in some ways, exciting because it's cards for everyone. However, so far we've seen things that are flavorful and still like. I like the idea that you're considering splashing a bunch of these cards. Like Spark of Inspiration, you could splash it. Concerto, you could splash it, and they still make interesting decks.
One thing I'm thinking of right now that would probably get me fired from Null Signal Games, which is often threatened of me, even in the comments of some of your videos. What I'm thinking I want to do is like say something out loud, like, oh yeah, we've got like 3 criminal hardwares in this set, and then just have Chaos of 99 fill in, but in italics, like, oh, Patrick says there's 3 hardwares here.
In a real-time citation needed.
Yeah,
this is interesting. If you want to figure out what's printed, for a lot of people, this might not matter, but I'm a big fan of this. This was something that like used to be done a lot back in the FFG days when people tracked this on, again, you said like, what is it? Forest Flatline?
Forest Flatline, I think, is the BGG one. So, of course, as someone with NSG said they aren't a fan of neutral cards during Midnight Sun release. I don't remember hearing someone say that. It might have been June because she was on like the Shadownet or something like that. But it is obvious like Midnight Sun has cards that are reminiscent of neutral cards that have been put into factions. Yeah, like Mavirus is Cyberdex.
Used to be a neutral card,
not Sandbox. Virus Suite, and like Beskarovka is formerly Ice Wall. Wall of Static. Like there's.
I've never considered that, but okay.
Yeah, it's like it's totally a better Wall of Static. I don't know why you hate that card.
Well, I think Palisade's a better Wall of Static, so this is a worse Palisade.
Anyways, so there's not many neutral cards, but I think the idea is like if it can fit in a faction, put it in a faction. That's cool. That's the priority, and I like that. I think it's very cool.
Second said I definitely misspoke and got quoted. Yo, can you say what you got misquoted on? Because we can at least squash it here, or we could reinforce it.
Ooh, yeah.
The card types are arranged alphabetically. It goes agenda, asset, ice, operation, upgrade, event, hardware, program, resource. I didn't realize that, but event, hardware, program, resource is how I organize my binders classically. Agenda, asset, ice, operation is not. I go agenda, asset, operation, ice, upgrade.
No, I go agenda, ice, operation, asset, upgrade, and then I go program, hardware, resource, event.
What? I think these sort of things are like worth considering because I think they substantially outline how different people think about the games. To think that like you're a program first Netrunner player is fascinating. Wait, where do IDs go?
Well, IDs are at the front.
Okay,
obviously, IDs
but like,
are at the front.
You think programs are more impactful than events? I think that honestly has like the way that you compartmentalize and think about games. Like, I think that's actually fascinating. I'm not saying that's a bad thing or a good thing. Like,
no, you're very carefully not saying it's a good thing.
You know what I mean? Programs for events. Jeff is also one of these weirdos.
Yeah, thank you.
That's messed up, y'all.
Yeah. But it's like the Myers-Briggs test is unscientific and really not helpful. But how do you organize your collection of a competitive card game is absolutely indicative of a personality.
See, like Izzy, I put hardware first so consoles can be by the IDs. That's also fascinating because I think, Izzy, you think of the console as being like so attached to the ID in terms of power level and probably deck building. Maybe I'm putting words in your mouth, but like I could see how somebody approaches the game like that. And I don't think I do. I generally look at events first when I build a deck. The heck is wrong with me? Hardware first IDs because console's so important. That's so strange to me.
What do you mean organize?
Yeah.
Sad Sug is trying to click on a virus.
Yeah, I can't open that. What is that?
Just tell us what it is.
Should be by set number, you absolute monsters. That's so messed up.
No, absolutely not. That's
so
useless to everyone. That's absolutely useless to everyone.
Yeah. I will do things now. The binder stuff got actually really ugly because it's always in those things, but within those factions, it's not alphabetical. It's by release order. But I've also now put startup at the front, so it's like startup, small break, then also standard.
I have also started separating out startup only from standard. Yeah.
Events, hardware, program, resource because alphabetical. Yeah, flip knows it's good. All right, that's so fascinating. I've never thought about that. Yeah, how that changes like how people look at deck building. I built an NRDB, so it's just after Hoshiko can be comforted by Keiko after rotation. They'll have their special spot at the back of the binder. Don't worry.
All right, let's talk about the actual spoilers.
Yeah, okay. So we have the preview schedule. We'll go back to this in a second. But what we've been spoiled so far, we're going to talk about that really quickly. I honestly, because I've been busy, I haven't read this article. I haven't read Aaron's article. Oh my God. I know. I'm going to say that up front.
Edited this.
I'm so excited to read Aaron's. Is this the first article she's published?
I believe so. Yeah, this is her first story.
I've been really busy this week. I'm going to read this for sure. This is really exciting.
There is another one from her this season to look forward to.
Okay.
This is a really fun one to work on with her. I guess she's not in chat, but like we had a good time. We even had like a session where we were both on like Discord voice, just like she was writing and like we were both kind of working on our own things, almost like body doubling.
Cool.
But also like she'd say, oh, should we put a mammoth in or like, like I would say, I think this animal should be this because it's more impactful this way. And she'd be like, oh, well, how about this? And we kind of brainstormed together. But thank you, Thoth. I really enjoyed the story. That's great to hear. Yeah. And let Shoeflower know because I'm really happy with how the story turned out from beginning to end.
Yeah, I think Aaron's only recently started at Null Signal like earlier this year.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, she only started a few months ago.
Yeah. You need to read the lore articles. They're so good. I know they're classically very, very good. Like I don't think I've read a lore article that I didn't like. I just haven't got to this yet. Unfortunately, I put out like a video earlier this week. It's been busy, so like I feel bad, but obviously I'm excited to read this. Okay, let's talk about the cards though. I saw the word Tenma in there.
Yeah, there's a Tenma clone or two in this story.
All right. Izwaka Daptics. Sorry for all those. If you've seen this card before, we're gonna talk about it a bit, but that's fine.
Yeah, the Thule story as well we can get into because I did like that one quite a bit.
Yeah, I read that one for sure.
Oh wow!
No, I haven't read anything,
no, that's
man. It's been a busy week.
Sorry. I totally believe that you're like just yeah. Sorry. Iswak Adaptic sustaining diversity. Whenever you score an agenda that you did not score, install or advance this turn, place one power counter on this identity. For each hosted power counter, you need one less agenda point to win the game. Bringing Mother Nature up to speed.
When this was revealed, I hated it.
You really did. You really did, folks.
My
you really did.
Reaction to this was like,
really. We got rid of what's the medical
breakthrough? No, Harmony MedTech.
Harmony MedTech, yeah. No, I like this. Like, this is okay. I'm going to compare this to Op, and you're going to be angry with me.
Yeah.
But Op is something that makes you look at deck building in a completely different way. It makes you look at numbers that you never really consider in the same way. This one makes you look at agenda points in a totally different
It
way
makes
than
you think,
other.
look at scoring patterns in a different way.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wait, but hold on, because I'm gonna
Oh, you
I have to explain this.
Maybe I'm going too
because
far.
I've gone
Yeah.
off topic. Why I didn't like this when I immediately saw this, and this is not what my opinion is right now. The way that I saw this is just it's going to be another deck where people go install advance. Did you
It
run
is,
it?
yeah.
No, advance, and then the whole game comes down to this mind game of whether it's like the lethal cerebral overrider no longer in startup or is it an agenda, right? And it becomes so feast or famine, exposes at a minimum in the format, and that's all the game becomes. We're seeing that in Gentech PE, and I think specifically online, that's not a thing that I like playing into, where it's just like, did you make the call or did you lose? I do think but that's the thing about this deck. I think there's so many other ways to play this that are probably a bit more consistent, like weird advancement patterns, certain cards interact with this. Any card that places advancement tokens, not advancing it, specifically work with this, and you can have like a really aggressive rush deck. If you install advance 4/2s, you can seamless launch them out and actually
100%,
go really quickly.
Seamless launch works so well in this deck because, of course, this says install or advance, doesn't care about placing advancement counters. So, Trick of Light, of course, in faction way to do it. Say so is Lacosta Grid, but seamless launch is a super efficient way to get this done in a really fast and scary way.
Yeah, I don't know. I even think that some stuff is strange, and I think that's also going to be predicated on traps because you are going to do install advance a lot,
100%,
or install advance a lot, which is generally not a great play because if you want to run traps, you generally want to make it like a higher risk, so like bigger reward. I've heard people talking about like the 2-0 agenda, Project Kusanagi.
Julien was playing that at the weekly meetup.
I don't know how good that is. Install advancing a Kusanagi, and they run it is awful. It is so bad for you as a corporation.
It's a nothing. Yeah.
It is one of the worst things you can do. Is that worth for a free 1 point that they can interact with? I'm doubtful, but maybe in the certain decks they can. But I'm saying, and this deck doesn't have to be that way, but if you're just playing install advance big traps like old Mushin, old Regenesis, which the name of the article traps, I don't know if I want to play against that deck. I don't think that's my thing I'd enjoy playing against.
Yeah.
But I think this thing's flexible.
It certainly is flexible.
You can seamless a 2-0, seamlessing a 2-1.
Excuse me.
Seems like a really bad play.
Thanos says NBN Ice seems nice here. Do you mean like Vasilisa?
Yeah.
Because Vasilisa can definitely trigger a few times and get you some very cheeky extra point agendas.
The thing is, like, I like runners stealing Kusanagis. If they steal Kusanagis, like, I feel like I'd rather just play a PE deck. But I don't know. I think the big thing here is exactly Harmony Medtech, is you can win in 2 agendas if they're all 3-pointers. But then it's just that thing, like, no ice, install advance, do they run it? And I don't know. Online, it's so much worse on JNet where you can't like play with the are they bluffing physical space.
Yeah, of course. This one will be a lot more interesting in person than on JNet.
Are you excited about this one? Have you played this at all?
No, I haven't played with it yet, but I am excited for it because like when I first saw this in like the spreadsheet of like in development cards or whatever, like I generally got a little bit, my heart fluttered a little bit, like, oh, this is kind of scary. This is going to be a install advance kind of deck, and that's scary to have around. I wonder if it's going to be powerful enough on its own.
That's the thing too, is like so far the cards we've seen have been much more aggressive. Maybe I'm just a bit colored by Wayland, but like HB seems to be much more aggressive. Like so far this half of the set has kind of felt that same tone as Flashpoint. And Flashpoint in terms of the story was after the financial collapse in the Netrunner world, the 23 seconds event. And from that point on, all the corporations, they were like rebranded as their main divisions, but they had very, very aggressive abilities, like controlling the message, the banned Jinteki, what's it called? Potatoes deck, technically Builder Nation, but not really. Like all that sort of stuff feels like this, where now it's so much more of the corp saying, I'm going to reach over. And I have no doubt there's much meaner things in this deck than what we've seen so far. Yeah, hold on. When I play ID versus you, I'll send you the list first so you don't get pissy when I streable you.
That's fair. That's really nice of you, yeah.
Pissy when you streable me.
It really will.
I don't know. Just play Light the Fire. I feel like it's so hard to evaluate core damage going into the set, considering there's so much stuff that's like core damage adjacent, and that's like been a problem. Yeah, here, 1 second. Do you want to talk about the next card, actually?
Yeah, okay. We're gonna actually. I'll wait till you get back to talk about this card, but
this card's so weird.
It is weird. All right, well, we're gonna talk about books. What has everyone been reading? Yeah, I've been reading for book club. Triplanetary. Does anyone know that card? That book. It's like an old sci-fi book. And it really feels like it. Like it's not a fun book to read. Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious what everyone else has been reading these days. I've been kind of slow this year. Like last year, I read more books than I ever have in my life as an adult. And then this year, like since I've had a job, obviously a lot harder to do anything with. Yeah, I'm trying to look for something new. Like I've been really reading Adrian Tchaikovsky a lot. Really loved Children of Time when that came out. Oh, and Shards of Earth has been really fun too. The Final Architecture series, I've been enjoying that as well. Yeah, I don't know. Like with my book club, they kind of force me to read things that I wouldn't normally be reading. Is the thing. For better or for worse. Sometimes I'm really bored by it, and it's a struggle to get through, and it takes up all of my time. Ugh. All right, now that I've got control of this, maybe I will start talking about this card. I wrote the flavor text on this one before I saw the final art for it, which I think is supposed to be reminiscent of another Jinteki card. Yeah, Izzy, I agree. That's a much more concise way to read a book. I like that kind of format. The Ice Palace by Tarjay Vesas. Homicidal Psycho Jungle Cat. Oh, Adrian Tchaikovsky wrote a 40K novel. Like recently, Vasa? I didn't know that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, he's very much a gamer and like seems to be very proud of it. I've listened to an interview with him. That was pretty fun. I don't know what Andre's doing. I think Maddie wanted to show him their cat's butt. I have to assume that's what they're doing right now. And I just hear them laughing and talking about me. I just hear my name coming up quite a bit, starting to make me a little bit nervous, and I'm getting kind of sweaty. Oh, hey. Hey, how's it going?
It's good.
Good. All right, I want to wait till you got back before you talked about this card.
This one's really weird.
It's really weird.
So this is another one I think looking at is really difficult on the basis that it does so many things. And I think each individual part of this is like kind of fascinating and it's something you want to do.
Yeah.
Doing them all in the same card is kind of nonsense. But like I think there's another card that looking at it doesn't seem impressive. And it's the sort of thing that you're going to play and it's going to be really good.
Yeah, I think this card's going to, like, it seems to fit immediately with the RH, like Restoring Humanity type of play.
Yeah.
Because it gets face downs and dark eyes and it pulls face ups out. And then you kind of refresh the Restoring Humanity engine a little bit.
Yeah. So, okay, the idea is, when do you want to play this? This is the big question. Like on turn one, this is a play.
Sure, yeah.
This fixes your hand turn one in the highest tempo way possible.
It is an extra, you pay 1 credit for an extra mulligan or something.
It's super dangerous because you're random drawing and losing a click, but you have technically like a kind of valuable mulligan on this thing. I wanted this to be a Wayland card. Like this would be such a fun Wayland card and kind of fits a theme. We haven't talked about the art, and I think specifically Jeff talked about it because I think Jeff was one of the people in communication of the art brief, specifically talking how this was a callback to Clone Retirement.
Exactly. Yep.
With the color, the framing, and the absolutely horrific
implications of the art.
Good.
Yeah, because like if you just look at the art, it looks like people moving these giant ox or great ox around, but of course, like they're moving it to like there's
people keep saying ox, like everyone knows what ox is.
AUK.
Yeah, everyone knows what this is. You can keep saying ox to normal people.
It's like a there you go.
Have we
relative of penguin?
Have we eaten all of these, or are they still around?
I don't know about you. I can go for another ox right now.
Oh man, it's a real thing, or it's because I thought they were like recreating things that don't exist anymore.
No, it was a real thing. I think it was like an extinct animal, or maybe I'm not sure if it's extinct currently.
Yeah, Jeff will know.
Spark says, why is the teacup giraffe just gets to be cute, but the cute burbs have to get hurt? The teacup giraffe also gets hurt.
The teacup giraffe canonically is dead, I've been told, and I don't know why someone told me that.
They have a lifespan of like 1 to 2 years, and Spin
Cycle
came out its bones cannot support even its tiny frame. They're very soft.
These are great ox. Okay, we ate all the ox.
Yeah.
This thing I think is fantastic. This is one of the cards that I'm like really excited to like physically play, because I think it's the kind of card like Extract. We're looking at it. I think Extract, you could tell specifically in op, it seems nonsense, but this is another card that potentially you look at it, and then it's only once you play it that you find out like something really nonsense has happened.
Yep.
Yeah. This is cool. That was it for Jinteki, right?
That's it for Jinteki.
That's 2 cards. How do we expect to be like 7?
Yeah. Do we know who's getting the rest of the Jinteki cards?
No.
Okay.
No. Well, actually, no, you're right, because it usually says on this thing, right? I'm going to just do that. But yeah, I don't know. Slumscast.
Oh, there we go.
Just Tuesday. So check out Slumscast. Again, all the links are here. For all the ones that have already happened, I'm going to have links under the YouTube video. But for a lot of folks, you can find a link there. That's just on the Null Signal page.
May I suggest that anyone who's looking forward to Jinteki cards read the fiction called Regenesis.
I'm so
That
embarrassed. I
that
should
shoot
have
flower.
this. How do
Yeah.
I not know this is gonna happen?
Before we started the stream, you're like, "Hey, do you think you can talk about the lore stuff?" And I'm like, "I don't know if I can talk about this story to you, a person who will read this story.
Whatever.
Why don't we read it now?
No,
It's less than
no.
3,000 words.
This is Calvin Wong. This
This is Calvin Wong.
like,
Yeah,
Calvin Wong's like a known internet person too, right?
yeah.
That's-
I think
okay.
the last thing I checked in, he was working on a board game design with Eric Lang. That's going to be
cool.
publication.
Awesome. So imagine. Yeah, sorry,
He also he wrote the Captain Pudma story from last season.
I didn't realize that. Cool.
Yeah, which was the story of like just Captain Pudma's kind of polycule on the Endurance and their pets, which was really nice. Like I edited that one and I was really enjoyed the kind of slice of life Netrunner story. Like yeah, there's hacking at the end, but mostly it's like people enjoying coffee and
Nice.
breakfast, and that's kind of fun.
I love Calvin Wong. I only saw his nice appearance in Crazy Rich Asians. I think that's how most people in the world would know Calvin Wong. Right?
Yes, I really liked Crazy Rich Asians. I was going through withdrawal of my medication at the time. It had a weird effect on me, but he was very funny.
That's what art is, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The still story is super cool as well as deeply creepy. So
It is pretty
far,
creepy, yeah.
almost all the spoilers we've seen from Thule are like genuinely frightening.
It's a bit it's meant to be unsettling.
Yeah,
It's
unsettling.
like what if Rapture worked, which is fundamentally
Yeah.
cut pretty scary.
I also am so fascinated to know what the art direction was on for this, because like everyone sees
Yeah.
that it's evocative of kind of like a what are they called? Not exactly an alligator, but the one with the weird long snout. I want to say the word garish because I think that's related to their name, but it's not.
Like there's crocodiles, alligators, and caimans.
I think it's a caiman. I think I'm
Okay.
thinking of a caiman. But like this looks like a caiman. It kind of looks like a shark.
Mhm.
Like it looks like a face jutting out the water, and it's
Mhm.
like very, very, very frightening. Kira did a whole bunch of art in this set. I think this might be my favorite that Kira's done in this set, but it's all quite good.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Right. Whenever the runner steals an agenda, do 1 core damage unless they spend a click and 2
It's
credits.
like anti-sports metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yet I can see it having a very similar agenda suite to Sports Metal.
Yeah, this.
I think you can justify that.
It's like, okay, so anytime that you
Mhm.
see something like this where it's something triggers on score or steals,
Mhm.
you know what I tried to say that sentence we got
Yeah.
through. Things like Argus Security we saw classically,
Mhm.
and a lot of people thought Argus Security, I'll run all the 1-pointers, and like that deck just doesn't work because unfortunately those 1-pointers together don't make a coherent scoring package. Like
Yeah.
they do not coherent, like they don't have a coherent game plan.
Mhm.
So generally people played Argus and they still ran like 11 agendas, but they weren't running like 14.
Mhm.
That's still a lot, but like not 14. And then you see Sports Metal, which like same idea. You want to bet as many as possible. Now this thing, as many as possible agendas, like it kind of slows the runner down, and they have to spend a lot of time or extra time accessing and like stealing these things. Again, this is not additional cost, which means you can't choose not to steal the agenda, which is super important. So running last click is scary. But it's interesting to see because like currently, what 1-pointers do you want to play for this?
I think that. Well, I mean, you're probably going to be running harmonics.
We're assuming we're going to see.
We're assuming we're
harmonics.
going to see harmonics. I'm not saying we are.
Yeah.
You
But
said
that
we
would
are.
make sense. That would make sense.
Yeah.
considering
So when this in that case, bifurcation is probably going to be in play.
Yeah, bifurcation is fantastic with
Yeah.
this. I'm also surprised that this inherently has no. I always thought the Thule ability would like very obviously
Something to do with resing and unresing cards, right?
or
Yeah.
something to do with that weird 4/2 agenda no one plays from Midnight.
Draw 3 cards and don't discard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Midnight
3 arcology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. Like I don't get it.
Yeah, it's weird. Like the 2 corp IDs in the first half were very much like tied to the cards you got,
Oh yeah.
but then the Jinteki and the HB cards aren't necessarily reflected in the IDs that we get, which I think is like it's not like they have to be. Like I think like these are going to be broadly generally useful IDs.
So if there's a Thule deck that plays like Sports Metal, doesn't mean the deck water sports. Heyo. Sports is tempo positive, Thule is tempo negative, but for the runner, there's going to be similarities, but I think it's a difference in game plan that will make it the most interesting.
Mhm.
And that's the thing, is like when you saw this, I think when you saw this card and the next card, there wasn't a very obvious game plan.
Yep.
And I think as soon as you saw Sokka spoiled stuff, sorry, we're just gonna pull this a bit. And as
Okay.
soon as you saw also like even the Wayland spoiled stuff to like a not insignificant extent,
Mhm.
I think there is like a very cogent game plan that isn't a long grind.
Yeah.
Because like let's talk about core damage as a deck, as an archetype as a whole. Like that is kind of a big thing. Designing around this game has been difficult. If it's too easy to give too much core damage, like people, it's
That's
not a fun
unfun.
archetype.
It
right?
means the runner typically has less options on each of their turns, and the game is about having options.
And this deck with some of the cards you see later is becomes super relevant as soon as 2 core damage. As soon as there's 2 core damage, this game is like this is a very powerful ability.
Mhm.
You're gonna see for many reasons. And so I'm actually a big fan of this. This was shouted out specifically. I think it was Doomrat and Thyke, which were on the daily casts the day that this was spoiled. And it was so cool to see them talk about this from the design side of things, because it is so hard for this game. From the whole history of this game, there's been so many hits and so many like swings and misses of trying to make HB do anything interesting. It's always just been like
just efficiency,
straight
right?
efficiency.
How much can you get for one click? How many more clicks can you get?
Did you realize the last 4? I think it's the last 4 world championships were all HB decks.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? But like that's always been the case, and like that is interesting and that's fun, and like doing wild HB turns, like sometimes it feels like you're cheating, that's cool, but I don't think it's exciting to a big part of the player base. And I think now HB doing something else interesting, something thematically more interesting too, something frightening, is really, really cool for so many players.
That's a great point. Like thematically, Talut is creepy in a way that HB has pretty much never been.
Brain Taping Warehouse was like the coolest thing, and this is screams Brain Taping Warehouse. Literally the next card is Brain Taping Warehouse. My Wi-Fi is called Brain Taping Warehouse. I'm stuck with Brain Taping Warehouse.
They're gonna dox you, man.
I know. Game Grab, what is core damage? Core damage is just brain damage. The name was changed.
Just kind of reflavoring,
and we're seeing really good reasons why that's happened. So the idea is core damage is meant to be any sort of like very permanent damage to the runner.
It like permanent to physically, like their brain, but it could also be like
exclusively
emotionally or even politically, or like their body changing dramatically. Yeah, exactly.
And so like the next card we talk about is another really good example of how maybe the runner accesses something that has a deep impact on them, that's a lasting impact that is not easy to repair, which is really cool.
Before we move on, there are some questions about the lore. People are asking, what is the crisis reference in the flavor text? I think the idea of this HB in Borealis is like, it's not quite a manufactured crisis, but certain people are like, they're climate refugees. They're looking for a place to stay that's stable, that's solid. And HB is like, we offer you these underwater cities that will never get too hot or too cold, right?
Like we talked about this just directly earlier today.
Lady Liberty.
Lady Liberty is like one of the biggest examples of climate crisis on a single card in Netrunner.
Yeah, of course. So they had
like,
to put up seawalls around the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah. This Ellis Island, whatever this island is in New York. The water level is a bit higher than what you might be used to, and that sort of idea. What I'm also kind of interested about this, and whether this was a mismatch in design or whether this happened later, I'm not too sure. But like, I think the 1 or 2 pieces of art that we've seen so far that show Tula cards, so specifically I'm talking about Midnight 3 Arcology and also Refuge campaign, they really like smacked of that sort of Art Deco, Art Nouveau design. I think specifically Refuge campaign had the same like font of like Art Deco and like Cold Under the Sea, and it doesn't match this.
It looked a lot like that criminal card, Enhanced Vision or something.
Yeah, but even more BioShock to me, right? It's Refuge campaign, not Refugee.
Yeah, absolutely.
My server is named Estelle. Netrunner card name is the best. Yeah, I have a whole bunch of those.
Okay. Well, here's the difference. This is above ground.
Sure, but even like the font choice, like that is an Art Nouveau font.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
But yeah, I'm just saying, like, this is their advertisement, and then once you go into the water, it's lot.
Different.
It's not what you expected.
But you see, like, you still see this whale in the background, a bunch of cards, but like this sort of like lattice work, like that all is kind of very Rapture to me, and there's nothing wrong with that. But
100%.
It's a different depiction. You're totally right. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, so I think the idea is like, the crisis isn't manufactured, but once people get there, most of the information they receive about the outside world is controlled by HB. Like, once people are in there, they're probably not leaving, and HB is kind of free to do whatever experiments they want on them.
And the art is so frightening. The HB agenda, the art is so good.
I forgot that we'd already seen that. I was trying to avoid talking about it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's very disturbing.
Yeah, on that note, if you want to see more of the HB cards, and I think they're very impactful, and if like this alone, I was excited to play. And then once Sokka showed up on a Tuesday to do a stream, again, links in the description, Sokka234. By the way, welcome to YouTube. Now, if you want to see Sokka's live streams or the Metropole Grid live streams, they don't load up on the page. You have to go to the live tab, and then it's under the live thing. So this, I don't know. I worry that people don't see that, but it's kind of nonsense. Anyways, I think that's great. I think that's really, really quite good. Let's talk about this. Nightmare Archive. Like, I read this, and everyone thinks Nightmares Archives, and I thought like that was just a really ugly name, but it's literally it's an archive full of nightmares.
Yeah, it's like you have accessed a server where people have been storing the nightmares that they come across when they're brain tapping someone or something.
Yeah,
right?
which is like a bad access.
Yeah.
And the fact that this thing is so shadowy, you cannot see what surrounds it, the color work. Do you want to read the text real quick?
I'd love to. Yeah. While the runner is accessing an asset, they must reveal it in R&D. Of course, that's typical ambush text. When the runner accesses this asset, they may add it to their score area as an agenda worth -1 agenda point. If they do not, do 1 core damage and remove this asset from the game. So it's permanent either way, either -1 agenda point or 1 core damage. And I'm looking all over the place. The only place I see the word archive is in the title. What does that mean? What does that mean?
Well, it fires from archives.
It fires from archives.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay,
sorry,
yeah, okay.
I faced down.
I was trying to do a thing, and I was kind of like,
Yeah. So a lot of the ambushes.
I should let you know ahead of time when I'm going to do something like that, just like you with the Abbott and Constella. Yeah.
A lot of archives, or sorry, a lot of traps, things like Snare, they don't fire for archives, right? Even some of the agendas like Vacheron, right? It doesn't fire from archives specifically, and this one does, which means it's something you're very fast to throw out to archives. Now, if you ask me,
Good point, Cror.
core damage or -1 point, archives is also in the flavor text. Yeah, that's true. The closest thing we have to this is News Team. And I think a lot of people love News Team. I do want to posit a bit of restriction here is that you want to make sure when you're playing cards like this that the -1 agenda point, and sometimes it's -2 agenda points because you're generally playing more than one of these, actually matters in some meaningful way to your game plan, right? So a lot of agenda suites, if it's an agenda suite that they have to steal 4 agendas, like say they have to steal a 2, a 2, a 2, and a fake 3, a single News Team doesn't do anything. A single Nightmare Archive doesn't do anything. Now, if your agenda suite's a lot of small agendas, like
that's
one
what I was saying exactly.
Yeah,
that's what matters. It reverses an agenda skill, which is terrible. When you're facing this ID.
So very quite funny, very quite interesting potentially how you play it. I don't know if you can just jam into a value-based deck, like just a mid-range HP deck. Maybe we'll see some of the other cards. I don't know.
I think Snare is also totally viable in this.
Yeah, Snare has always been around as like this sort of thing. Like if you're on low core hand size because of core damage, you just can't access centrals pretty easily. So truly horrific flavor, so freaky. It's like quite frightening. It is legitimately quite frightening. I also see this shadow kind of looks like looming things creeping in on it, like your nightmares closing in.
It feels kind of like that, eh?
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
This is cool, man. I want to talk about more of the other spoilers, but yeah, we're not gonna. But
oh man,
I think there's some very easy decks you can deck build. How do you feel playing Essa against this?
Okay, so I mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
I think that sucks, but I also but it's not anywhere near as bad as like Steve versus Scorpios. It does not blank my idea.
You can still do something.
It's still an interesting decision point of when do I use my tools versus when do I just use my ID ability.
Yeah.
And also like the corp isn't entirely happy to be facing Asa either, right? Because they're like, oh, I can do a core damage, but that doesn't that advances Asa's game plan as well.
That's what I think is though. I think we're gonna see a lot of Thule decks. It's pronounced Thule. It showed up in the flavor.
Thule.
Is that a lot of the Thule? Are you sure? You're not sure, are you?
Let me just
no, it's fine.
Okay.
So a lot of the decks I think that are gonna be in this HB deck are actually gonna be combo decks. Because I think we saw 1 or 2, if not 3 combo cards. So these are cards that the corporation actually actively wants to keep in their hand and stay in their hand. So Sabotage might hit harder against this than say like the NEH deck that we're playing. That really doesn't care to hold much besides an agenda they can't score. Maybe a Psychographics. And I think that's fascinating. I think that actually makes the Sabotage a bit more disruptive and a bit more interesting. Immediately, how do you run archives and steal 4 agendas when you sabotage them? How?
That's something else I wanted to point out in case someone's missing it. Like this doesn't make agendas work like Ikawa Project. They must be stolen.
Yeah.
And then you have to pay the cost after you've stolen them. So it's like, yeah, you can steal 4 and then be totally wiped out.
And also super relevant in terms of a rules thing. If you ever have to physically take core damage and you don't have enough cards in hand, you are flatlined. If you ever have to take damage, but you can technically have, like, say that you're already on 3 core damage and then you draw up to like 5 cards, and then somehow in that turn you take 5 core damage, you will only lose the game at the end of your turn when you fail to discard down to -8 cards.
Yep.
That's when you flatline. But in theory, you could draw a lot of hands, flush archives.
We've done that on this channel.
Oh,
yeah. Well, we've definitely faced it off against like the Valley Grid decks and stuff like that.
Yeah. I wish Criminal had some darker themes. Anarch got some hardcore themes. HB got dreary, and Constant Crimp got violins. Yeah, Thanos, I think we're going to maybe see a bit more of that. Like, we saw literal guns, and it looks like there's bombs as well, but I assume bombs usually seems to be an Anarch thing. But I'm always with you that I want Criminals to be more about crime than they've classically been. We'll see. They got an Icebreaker, it's a little gun. Yeah, and then Sundog shot Archer to death, and then they shot Sundog, so...
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, fair trade, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, don't say that about talking about Canada. I feel like there's political implications there.
Hold on. God, how?
Oh, is that my girlfriend?
That's your girlfriend.
Don't report her.
No, she's from Canada. Huh?
No, you just haven't met her. Like
yeah, she's real. Works at Nintendo. Okay. Is there any other spoilers we can talk about? I think that's it.
I guess that's it. Yeah. Well, I mean, did you want to talk about your spoilers at all? Did you have anything to add to your video? Because you got 4 of them.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm kind of disappointed that you didn't get to. No, sorry, never mind. Like my favorite flavor text that I wrote in this set has not been revealed yet.
Ooh.
And I'm just looking forward to that popping up somewhere.
So now as somebody who's like, behind some of the cards, how do you interact with spoiler season? Because like this is one thing, like for
Carefully.
us, sure,
Yeah.
but like for people who are playing the game, spoiler season is one thing, but then also I see so obviously for things like daily casts, it's like you see designers, like I've got messages in response to this from Morgan, from people from the NSG team that are like their experience of seeing things that they've been working on for such a long time for the first time hit the public eye, and then seeing how people react to that, and generally it's been really quite positive. Obviously, that is meaningful. Has that been changed? Has that felt different so far?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few layers to it, right? Like everyone in NSG is working on a different. What?
The recursion, the Andre show. Hold on. If I do this, it's less
There we go. That's a bit
that's more
disturbing.
reasonable.
Because like on the one hand, everyone in NSG is working on different elements of it. There's the art team, there's the narrative team, there's everyone else. So we only get to see these cards all with everything together a couple, maybe 2-3 weeks before everyone else does.
Whoa, yeah, it's not a long time.
It's not a long time.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, now it's all together.
But I've heard that too. It's like people saying like I played with this card for so long and I've only seen the art on it for the first time now in a video.
Yeah, exactly.
Like super cool.
Yeah. But also it's obviously super exciting because like I am just tracking down every mention of a card that I had even the slightest bit of work on.
Yeah.
And seeing if people have positive reactions to it. I want to see people discussing it, not only because I want to be involved in the discussion, but I do because I've like I saw Isuak months ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't wait for other people to see so I can actually talk about this with someone, and I couldn't.
That one had a huge conversation in our local Slack.
It did, yeah.
People like Isuak more than I did. I like it a lot better now. When I saw it, I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. So it's genuinely exciting for me, especially the ones that I have a connection to, and the other ones I'm like, it's just a relief to finally talk about this, just to get this off my chest and have this conversation that's been building up to me for so long. Because other people are like, oh, I'm excited to see new cards. I'm like, I've seen them, but I'm like a Cassandra who sees the future but cannot discuss it.
Yeah. Really quick, I want to say this because I agree with this. Thought says if an NR was all dark and dreary, I would actually hate it. The thing that NR does so well is be cyber exciting that actually has some brightness and hope. And 100%, I think the majority of people would agree with you.
It's brightness and hope and color is what the Netrunner universe has.
That being said, when I talk about criminals specifically, it's just there was an era of Netrunner where all the criminal cards are just like different criminal consoles and like just blue box and like
just different flavors of blue.
Yeah.
And Geist was a criminal. He's like a gangster boss or something, right?
He was a arms dealer.
Yeah.
Okay. A head up in the Los Muertos, if not the head of Los Muertos. I'm not actually sure.
And of course, Fisk was a billionaire who's even worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, we haven't. Yeah, I do like to see genuinely criminals.
Yeah.
And violent anarchs, and I don't know. I've got my own ideas for an evil shaper that we can do one of these days, but
Frank
maybe that's a while out.
So stealing an agenda against stealing last click is a bad idea. It's a bad idea unless you win. But yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah.
The idea is like things like border control, things like black site, not the cold site server. I always call that black site for some reason. All that stuff is like starts to work, and that's one of my favorite things is when cards get released that work really well with other cards, like Zato Grid cold site server. Like that's an HB deck with Hula.
Oh yeah,
and then you can throw core damage at them. Like it's cool. It's been really interesting to see the variety of opinions on NR cards, but hard to talk about today. I think the NR cards, to me, like very much fit into the same sort of category of cards, kind of like that, the one with the bird barbecue, where like it's kind of difficult to see, where they have the bucket full of rotisserie chicken.
Oh, of course, yeah, sorry, yeah.
It's really difficult to see some like how powerful they can be, because they just kind of seem like some of them were like very fundamental basic cards that are value based, and they're not as exciting as like here's a 10 cost shaper thing or something like that. But I do think a lot of them are very, very fascinating, especially event based Anarch is kind of more of a thing, right? If you want to see those cards, mind you, Code Marvelous, who hasn't really been doing Netrunner content in a while, it's really cool to see him come back and do stuff. It's on the videos tab, it's not on the shorts tab, it's not on the live tab, you'll find it. Has done a video, and it's with Sanjay and Edie, and that's Edie from Run Last Click, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, or it's either that or it's the dog.
Yes, it's the dog from the background of Rigging Up. Yeah,
no, it's Edie, which is really cool to see. I was a big fan of Run Last Click back in the day, unless it's a different Edie, because I never saw Edie's face. No, it must be the same Edie. Where were we? Oh, we were here. Somebody said real quickly. Hold on. I missed it. I wanted to respond to that. Love the opening to that vid. The lights look great. Thank you. So honestly, this video was a bit of a nightmare on my behalf, and
archive.
I should have done better. I got my spoilers video, and I was meant to record this video, like the video itself, the narrative part, Monday night after Arkham. We started Arkham early, and I recorded, and it was really bad. It was a bit too rambling, so I cut a bunch of it, and then I did it again. I think for this one, my energy is a bit too low. But then I had to do the intro on the Tuesday before the spoilers. And the intro itself is like 2.5 minutes, and there's like the Northern Lights ability, the effect. And let me tell you, the Northern Lights is like one of the highest things on my bucket list. It has been for a really long time. This is the closest I've got to it. But
Have you actually never seen the Northern Lights?
no, people haven't seen the Northern Lights. How is that a normal
no, okay,
thing?
because I've seen them from
You
like
lived
not
in Yukon.
yes, of course I saw them in the Yukon and it was beautiful and it was a life-changing experience. But I'm just saying like you don't have to go too far north of Montreal.
You can't see the Northern Lights in Montreal.
Okay. Anyway, sorry, go on.
The thing took 6.5 hours to render.
Mm-hmm.
So I hit render and then I'm sitting there like, oh, well, I guess I don't have a computer. I have to go to bed and hope when I wake up in the morning, the render didn't mess up. Because a lot of times you'll render it out and then be like, oh, I didn't realize because it doesn't run at good speed when you're previewing it, that there's like an awkward jump here or like this wasn't centered or some nonsense that you care about. And so it's actually rushed really last minute. In fact, at the end where I do a talk over like the Patreon things, like the Patreon scroll speed is all scuffed up. It was... Oh, it was last minute. Like the video exported at 11, it was posted at noon, and I will never do that again. It was not fun, but it turned out okay, I hope. I've seen a double rainbow. That's basically it. If you move your head back and forth enough, you can get that thing.
Did I tell you the story of when I saw the Northern Lights in Yukon?
No.
So when I was living there, like
Wait, one time or the only time or always? Because you said it was really common.
It is really common up there at a certain time of year, especially
Okay,
like once you get to the permanent night time. But I didn't live that long into that period. So like around late October, my cousins and I, because I have cousins up there, we drove up to the Arctic Circle from Dawson City where I was living.
Is Dawson below the Arctic Circle?
Yeah, it's about an 8-hour drive below the Arctic Circle. Like it's so far, like it's legendary. Dawson City is a legendarily
way north
town. And yet it's still like an 8-hour drive to Eagle Plains. And
I reckon that's the biggest city that north in all of Canada, right? It must be.
It's certainly more north than Yellowknife. I don't know if it's more north than Inuvik.
But I imagine there's more people there than in...
Yeah. I mean, like, it's certainly one of the biggest... It's probably the biggest stop on that highway. Well, no, I mean, Tuktoyaktuk isn't... it's probably the biggest,
okay.
Anyway, so we drove up to just past the Arctic Circle. We had an adventure with the grizzly bear. I think I've shown you the picture. Oh my God, it's such a good story. I don't want to bore the story. But anyway, we didn't see the Northern Lights that trip.
Yeah.
Because every evening, which started at like 1 p.m., it was super cloudy. The whole time we were there was this foggy and like soupy fog, and we couldn't see Northern Lights. And then we drove back, and like that night, I was like just walking down the street, and I looked up and I saw them, not a distant fat ribbon, but like a thin spiral, as in whatever it was directly above me.
Ooh.
Yeah. It was
How fast do they move? Because I think most footage we see is sped up.
That's certainly sped up. Like I think if you look long enough, you can see it almost vibrating and shimmering. That's about it.
Man, Northern Lights are so cool.
Well,
I can't believe they're real. I can't believe they're real.
Most of the images and videos you see are like very long exposure.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only way to get the like really bright colors, but they're certainly interesting to witness.
Yo, Steven says, I think there's something actually quite cynical about having only generated light / heroic people oppose the corpse. It should be possible for bad people to do the right thing too. And I think also on the other side, like, not all corpse are meant to be ghoulishly evil, and you do see that time to time.
Yeah, I wish you'd read the Iswak story.
Yeah, I know.
So we could talk about that. Yeah, I think the Iswak story isn't entirely in the direction of like a good corp, but it's certainly people who are like kind of working towards something that everyone wants.
Okay.
And like by the end, things don't go well, but like it's certainly someone who is like working towards something good.
I turtled here. Yeah, who would render a video last second? Definitely not me. I'm definitely not anything watching. Yeah, good luck out there. Funny that GFI is the most evil card in the gameplay sense. Yeah, right. People hate GFI
and NGO
and NGO friend. They're terrible stuff. Whatever Rashid is up to, we don't know. I don't know. I feel like I talked at length about this. I think the only things that I want to say about this, like, associate with some of the newer cards we've seen, the fact that HB has a way to give tags, the way that there's core damage that's kind of on the menu.
Yep.
It looks like there's more core damage cards getting printed on the runner side. I don't know whether we're going to see more cybernetics generally across the field that's going to do core damage, but it looks like core damage is just kind of a thing that's being, to some extent, like, I don't know how prevalent it's going to be, but all this sort of stuff really matters when it comes to cards that do meat damage, either on small amounts or big amounts. So really, really fascinating. I think Zato's really cool. Obviously there's shit posts about Sundog now, so that's great. But I'm really, really interested about this. Iswak's accomplishments seem good.
In quotation marks.
Good. I like it. Kind of like how Nestle's working vigilantly to secure water to everyone who needs it.
Exactly.
Yo, they have that on Mars. They put a card on it. It was pretty bad, actually. I really enjoy the Moral Gray flavor text on GFI so much. I usually never use my full arts of it. Oh, it's not on the full art. Yeah. Yeah, that's like a weird thing that's kind of awkward when it comes to the full art, specifically when they do like the booster sets. Is whenever you get a like, okay, I don't know. I feel like I was playing a deck of full arts with new players, and then it's so hard to read the text.
Yeah,
but I think that's like most games that do like the weird full arts where the card text gets too small.
Yeah, and so, like you know, we have new players in the Montreal meta, and like a lot of my decks have a lot of alt and full arts, and like it's actually kind of not easy for them, and maybe I should just stop doing that for a little while at least.
Yeah, just for a bit.
But like my gut instinct to, I think a question in a survey was like, what do you think about using or banning alt arts for high level events? So that for more visibility and accessibility, right? Like my gut instinct was, no, of course don't ban them. That's my personality. But also like I see a player who's trying to like read this totally unfamiliar art for what should be a familiar card. You know, I see the reasoning. But
I don't know. For artists who like, you know, make money and do this sort of stuff, it feels obviously really bad. I don't know. Speaking of new ideas, can you confirm or deny Jurassic Park was an influence for the new Jinteki ID? Tanaka, Skylar, how's it going? I can't confirm any of that stuff. It seems kind of like on the nose.
I'm pretty sure it was not necessarily. Like the art for Regenesis might have been referencing like the Brontosaurus.
The same artist did the barbecue one, and it's such good art. Oh man, I'm a huge fan.
I wrote flavor text on one Jinteki card that I was inspired by Jurassic Park, but it's actually kind of a trope that exists beyond Jurassic Park. But yeah. I think you'll recognize a few words that in there that sound like something that a certain very minor character in Jurassic Park says.
There's like a straight up a Matrix quote on a card, isn't there?
Yeah, there's also just a direct Matrix quote. Yeah, I mean, there's also a direct UK politician quote.
Oh yeah,
we went wild in this flavor text, and I'm happy with it.
Sanger says one thing for the full arts is we're never making fonts that small. That's actually really good to hear. And again, you can now quote that because Jeff has said it in text. I used my full art of the class act, but it's actually Andromeda's text. My friend saw that card and had no clue. Wayne, I've done that. Just flip it around so the back has no text on it, and then like you can get away with it. Yeah. But that's the thing is I have one of the full art Andromedas from Eternal from like Worlds, and I wish I had a full playset because I'd play those as class acts with no text on them like an absolute jag, and I would love it. Honestly, once FFG cards are out of standard, I think non-official arts should probably go. But while the FFG stuff is around, their fit accessibility. Yeah, I think that's the big thing about arts. It's accessibility. The thing is, like, even with proxies, black and white proxies don't translate well to camera. And you need to have proxies for accessibility to the game. But unfortunately, even black and white proxies on camera as a caster, like we were like, I don't know what that is. So
yeah, but how much do you want to sacrifice for the comfort of our streamers?
I'm not saying for the streamers, it's for the access. Yeah, no, like that's sacrifice it away. It's like for the audience. Like that's what we started to do. And at Worlds, it was a learning process. Like the first game, it was like the second card that was played. I was like, oh, what's happening? We don't know what that is.
Especially because they're buying alt arts that day of. They're like, oh, that's I literally have not seen this boomerang before or something like that.
But then we learned. So like me and Pants would run out before every game and we sit down with each player and be like, can you go through your deck? Can you show us any alt arts you have? And once you do that, it's up to the casters to be like, that is something. It's still really hard. And then I think as a caster, we have to consistently say the name of the card, and then hopefully by context it's easier for the viewer. But yeah, it's hard. Black and whites are the worst of both worlds. They suck on the table too. Yeah, they're really bad on the table, but like it gets people playing the game. Like people who haven't played in a while, don't have original FFG cards, like they're playing at high levels, and you know it is what it is. Appreciate your hard work. I choose blues.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
But it's like it's not even like a hard work that we're going the extra mile. It's like we're going the mile that's like the base minimum you need to be able to watch the thing. So yeah, I appreciate it though. It's actually kind of fun. You get to talk to the players too a bit more, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
You need a color commentator, play-by-play guy, and alt art junkie. Yeah, we'll sit down and we'll like divide the roles. I don't have much else to say about this stuff.
Yeah, sure.
This is a mystery that I think is going to go on for a while. I don't think this is going to be solved soon, what they're digging for, but I think that's like a really compelling hook. Aliens. Hostile architecture is really cool. You shouted out this whole idea what hostile architecture it is on the stream. It is something I regret I didn't put in the video, and I put it in at the end because I think it's actually really fascinating, the whole idea. And the benches I didn't even realize until you brought it up, that there's literally just hostile architecture outside.
There's like normal our modern day hostile architecture,
which is so weird. It's like, why would you? This is probably really cold. Why are there benches outside? Like this seems like the worst place to ever stand around.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
They
That's
did it
hostile
right.
architecture.
Yeah, exactly. It's really good.
About hostile architecture, I probably talked about this. I might have talked about this before, but one of my favorite episodes of the podcast 99% Invisible.
I've heard that one. Sometimes
it's called In and Out of Love, about the architect who designed a park that was affectionately called Love Park, and where skateboarders love to play and do tricks. And of course, the city started like redesigning it.
This is the one in Philly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. It's in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
Exactly. Yeah. So the city started overbuilding it and like putting in anti-skateboarding tech. So it's like hostile architecture, not against the homeless, but against people who are using the park not in the way that it was originally designed. Except the original architect himself loved that the skateboarders were using his design.
Yeah.
Like, he was so into it. Anyway, that episode's amazing, called In and Out of Love, where you hear the architect, who I think is like Kevin Bacon's grandfather somehow. But he's like, he gets to skateboard for the first time as like a show of support for the skateboarding community. It's
Cool.
super cool.
I feel like a lot of the hostile architecture I've seen, like anti-skateboarding tech, is more kind of like a safety thing.
Yep.
Where it's like, we don't want you to get hurt on
So
our
they
property.
say,
So
yeah,
they say.
yeah.
But like, if everyone there is, if it just becomes a skate park, I'm fine.
Mhm.
I'm not an anti-skater. Tony Hawk Pro Skater was really important. I was talking to someone the other day, and they were talking about someone they ran into that was saying, I think in the modern youth today that there was a bigger impact, not from the Beatles, but from the soundtrack of Tony Hawk Pro Skater games.
Yeah,
on
100%.
the modern
I
audience.
can
And
agree with that.
I agree with that. But that was,
For me,
the Beatles goes
yeah.
to them, and then they go to us.
I never played those, but I understand it. For me, it was the Weird Al polka medleys. Like, the most grunge songs I heard first in the polka-fied
Yeah, me
version
too, yeah.
of Weird Al.
There's so much 90s pop that I only understand through Weird Al, but that is what it is. Also, getting back into the game after dropping out post-Combat cycles. A lot of people did that. So picking it up after FFG dropped Netrunner. So far, I think the folk and Null Signal are doing a great job. Tanago, hey,
That's
welcome
great
back.
to hear. Thank you so much. Yeah, happy to have you back.
If it's not obvious, Pat is a volunteer at Null Signal. I'm not, but their work has been absolutely fantastic. We're really excited for the set.
Like,
that comes out next week.
these two, like Midnight Sun and Parhelion, are two extremely cool sets. Like, there's so much interesting stuff in there for veterans and for new players.
So this drops tomorrow. Midnight Sun is finally coming up tomorrow. We get all your favorite characters.
Hunter.
Lou is here. Can we keep doing this? They got Lou, your favorite.
Okay, yeah. So it's harder for you to do this now that you've actually been playing Marvel Champions and Marvel Snap.
Yeah, now I know all the characters, right?
Okay.
I'm not still sure
Professor
what
Peculiar.
the lady with the sword does. She's an X-Men.
Are you talking about Majik?
She's Russian?
Yeah, I think she's Colossus. Well, she's Quicksilver, as you would call him. His sister.
Anyways,
played by Anya Taylor-Joy.
This comes out tomorrow, and it's called Midnight Suns, and I find it really funny. It's actually based off of a comic series called Midnight Suns, in which I reckon they need demon children to go fight the lady who is also a demon.
It was spelled differently in the 90s. The 90s was Midnight SONS, and now it's spelled Midnight SUNS.
That makes sense, because I think they're kids of the Spawn. Anyways,
I don't think that's the game.
I think it's Colossus' sister.
Yeah, isn't that what I said?
You said no. I think Quicksilver is the fast guy. I think Silver Surfer is Quicksilver.
You think Silver, right? You think Silver Surfer's Quicksilver. I thought you, yeah.
There's a Marvel card game called Midnight Suns. Yeah, with an S, with a U. Excuse me.
Oh, that's true. I forgot. It's not only is it a game that's coming out,
yeah.
it's a literal card game called Midnight Suns. Yeah.
Yeah, it's made by the XCOM people, but it's not like the XCOM thing. It comes out tomorrow. It has also a lot of like relationship building stuff at base, so hopefully something for everyone. And yeah, looks good. I like that.
When I was in the Yukon, I wrote like half a short story called Midnight Sun, SON. And like, I haven't lived here long enough to claim that. Like that feels dumb. Yeah. Let me just like try to maybe 6 years from now, I'll try to insert Robert Service into a card game flavor text and get rejected at every turn.
Hey aliens, hey, what's happening with Netrunner these days? Clicks on Metropole Grid, stream sees hostile architecture. My God, I don't think this is as mean as people think it is.
No,
5 credits is like a lot of money.
Yeah, for sure.
For an effect that might just fire once. So like for this to be relevant, you are building something, I reckon, kind of bespoke, but to some extent, it does sound fragile. So, bated breath. We'll see. I was in Diego for a business trip. That's what we call it. In the summer, the coworker I was there asked why there was a weird decorative thing in the big recesses in all the buildings. He was deeply dismayed when I told him there were spikes on all the flat surfaces and where every bench is divided into individual seats.
Oh,
yeah. Don't love it.
Yeah, and like the anti-pigeon tech is so ugly. Like those kind of like just thin spikes. You see them at like the edges of buildings a lot.
Yeah. I've seen pigeons on them.
Oh yeah, of course. Like pigeons find a way.
Yeah, they do find a way. Her name is Magic Ilyana Rasputin. Yeah, Rasputin is Colossus. He's Pietro Rasputin or Piotr Rasputin. That's why I also got the confusion.
Yeah. Us Kitty Pryde fans just call him Peter.
Yeah, I'll pick up the Marvel, the Mutant Genesis stuff at some point. Anyways, this video's out. People seem to like it. Thank you so much for the kind comments. I haven't responded to most comments. One comment that came in that made me laugh so hard was someone's like, "Hey man, have you seen Ristic Studies?" Because I recorded the intro and I listened to it back and like, oh my God, why do I sound exactly like Ristic Studies? Because I try to be serious and he always ends his sentences in like with like a finality. And it just came on, and I love that people noticed that too, because I reckon there's some overlap. That's great.
Yeah. Sorry, Thomas. Maybe we'll return. I'd love to return to the Arctic Circle someday. We'll do a cremation of Sam McGee card. We'll see what we can do.
All right, I think that's it for spoilers. Again, we're gonna link it to all the videos of stuff to see. If you want to see stuff again, socketed HB stuff just on Tuesday. We followed that on Wednesday. Today, SMC they did Anarch stuff, 4 events. They actually are all very interesting cards. Or actually, one's a resource. Excuse me. Yasengren's gonna do some stuff tomorrow. Same with the Slums Kid. No, ShadowNet. We have that open here. The links will be in there. If you want to see further, again, if you're attached to r/Netrunner. On top of that, there was a Facebook spoiler today.
That's true.
Not sure how to link to that because
Netrunner dorks.
not a lot of people are on Facebook. But I think it was reposted.
Hey, Parhelion.
Yeah. Yo, Parhelion, how's it going? On top of that, there was a really cool ARG game within, and we can't spoil it because it's still ongoing. But if you're within the green level clearance, there is a game that I think the name is AMS that put it together, and then there's a bunch of players that help play test it. But it like solidly is super cool.
Yep, it's very cool.
Yeah.
Very difficult and very cool.
Yeah.
I have definitely had most of Cremation of Samagi memorized at some point just to impress a person.
Did it work? Because I wasn't impressed.
Yeah. No, I've actually memorized a few pieces of poetry just for the purpose of impressing a specific person. Like,
it's never been me. He's never told me poetry.
One of these days, you know.
I made him dinner. No, actually, I
yeah,
dinner, so I'm not gonna take that.
I started once and like, I hate Beowulf.
The Ristic Studies comment was me. Yeah, Dan, it really made me laugh. I appreciate that. Mel, you can't spoil it. You can't spoil it.
I've also previously had the Gashly Crumb Tinies memorized. That was a good one. Good for parties. Do you know the Gashly Crumb Tinies?
No, you're saying a lot of words I don't know what they are.
All right. Yeah, Parallel, that's been an issue this whole day.
Yeah, Twitch feed's just real bad, and I need to address that officially. Apologies, I haven't got to it. Otherwise, Saturday, Rosenheim City Grids doing some stuff. They have a YouTube channel. They posted German Nationals lately, if I'm not mistaken, which is a really great watch. That is pre-rotation, but they're very interesting games. And then posits of Logic Bomb, the Netrunner Rules blog, which I'm not very familiar with this. It's like really cool to see also other Netrunner stuff you might know.
They're branching out. I'm looking forward to this so much. Because I think there's some very interesting ideas to talk about here.
Yeah.
With the cards that they've got. I can only think of one card they've got that's like going to be an interesting thing to discuss rules wise. That's going to mess with a lot of pre-established
specifically a rules heavy card.
Yeah, or a card that affects rules. A card that upends assumptions about how certain things work.
Yeah, okay.
Basically. And so we just have to clarify how things work.
That's super cool. Oh, Jen, how's it going? There's been some neat spoilers today in a few different places. There really has been. Yeah, it's really fun to stay on top of it. You can pop out Twitch chat. A lot of people I think pop out the Twitch chat and watch on YouTube. Again, I'll check out my bot to make sure I'm streaming to the best Twitch server, but our output seems fine here. Unfortunately. Yeah, the process will be joining conversations. The thing is, like, this is updated. Like, a lot of these are updates. Xenos from the Null Signal game dev team will be taking over our website to chew gum and make ice puns. It's all out of gum.
Cool.
No idea what that could mean, but Duke.
We have a lot of gum-based cards in the set.
Slumscast, Hot Take Tuesday, Wednesday. We're back on Null Signal Games website for a new piece of fiction. It's a Neutral Corp card previews. Neutral Corp card previews. So that's probably both of the neutral cards. No, there's only one Neutral Corp card.
Yeah, that's worded.
That's not worded.
I feel like that's worded incorrectly. I think maybe in my position as everyone's favorite Null Signal Games member, I think that's incorrect.
Can I make a stink about an editorial thing? We talked about this before.
Oh yeah, go for it.
This is really bad comment.
Because I'm only a narrative editor, so this is gonna be fine.
This is really bad content, and people are gonna tune out here. But in this video,
I'm watching the numbers.
Hold on,
they're dropping.
Zato City Grid. Why is this correct? So at the end of this sentence, it says, you may trash this ice to resolve that subroutine, period, quotation mark, period. Now, I don't know if that's correct. That looks wrong as sin. FFG didn't do it that way, and I'm not saying that's the way to do it.
Can we... I know we're not supposed to be looking at the Anarch cards, but there's an Anarch card that does something very similar, right?
I don't know. I did not pay attention. This is the sort of minutia that shows up when you have to stare at this for 6 hours.
No, I know. I understand. Like, I agree it looks bad, but I also think that's correct. And even though I'm not the one who made this decision, I'm okay with it technically speaking.
In English, is that correct?
I think so.
Literally unplayable. It's correct.
Yeah, because like the quotation mark bit is just like an object within the sentence, including its period, right?
I have no doubt that folks at Null Signal Games have like thought about this. Like,
because I think like it's the kind of thing that sticks out to anyone, right?
Yeah. I just want to know why it is. My spreadsheet has it wrong because the suggestion there are multiple cards. Huh. Oh, the fact that ice always says you may hold on, trash this ice to resolve that subroutine even during the counter after the counter after the run on the next turn, it's more questionable. It's a valid style choice, but it isn't the only. It's like straight up just a style choice. I thought there was like Right and wrong. Give me my editorial book. It's over there.
Yeah, it's somewhere under the
Okay, so
copy of Commit that we never played.
yeah, actually we've never played Commit. We should play Commit.
We should
the
really-
stories.com
yeah.
is like generally the most quotable site, but like they say that's incorrect and like
Well, that's incorrect. Okay,
yeah,
I was
that's
looking
double
this up
question mark. That's
because there
ridiculous.
was a question to do on flavor text where
Yeah.
something similar came up. I'm not sure if the flavor text has come up yet. It's an NBN card. But basically, like what I seemed to find was like if it's an exclamation point or a question mark, it's different than if it's a period, like that.
because you could stack double periods, but you can't stack double exclamation marks.
Something like that. I honestly, I can't remember off the top of my, like every time I encounter something like that, I have to research it because I'm never going to remember exactly what it's going to be.
I think it's incorrect. The period inside the quotation mark ends both sentences.
No, it doesn't because what's inside the quotation marks is an object on its own. It's not a quote. It's not someone speaking.
We are making both divisive and bad content.
Oh, look at that! Look at that valley.
Verbal quotations are different, but addition literal text. I love that people actually do care about this, or
Yeah.
at least they're being correct on the internet.
And,
Both are valid.
Yeah, and the sad thing is, like, I'm professionally an editor,
Yeah.
and I cannot remember how it is without looking it up.
Scroll down.
mhm.
Where to JM?
Colons, semicolons, and dashes, maybe.
This is terrible content.
People love it.
I don't know. Whatever. I can't find it. Scroll
Mhm.
down. JM. I need a pull quote. Whatever. Okay. It's
Tell
fine.
us what to search for.
It doesn't matter. The card still works. I'll
Yeah.
leave this open in another tab if we need to. But yeah, that's
Mhm.
what's happened. Copy fight. Copy fight. Copy. All right, Pat. We got like an hour left. Do you want to play a deck of some sort?
I guess so. What are we gonna play?
I don't think we have time to build something, so we're just gonna play something. But
Yeah.
like, as much as people are excited for the new future, like maybe this is like the time to do anything to celebrate startup that's gonna rotate, right? Like the last time you can play Rozeki ever is this next Thursday.
So we're gonna do an entirely Ashes runner deck.
Yeah, maybe. The thing is, like, we can't
Right,
build
but
a
we
deck.
don't have time to build something. It's
so
like
we're gonna do
11.50.
allowed packs. We're gonna do startup, and then we're gonna go cards use Rozeki, and it's gonna show us every single startup deck.
Is Rozeki your new password?
Coding the Chameleon? Izzy, what's that? Are you coding 2 sentence where it does a period go? Find a mirror morph deck?
Is
Mirror morph leaves.
Oh yeah, that's too bad. Is coding the chameleon a euphemism? That feels wrong.
It says go here, go there, dot, ellipses, dot.
That's funny.
Last time you can play Gold Farmer, yeah, there's a bunch of cards that like are just on. Ingram Flush is gone.
Mhm.
Gold Farmer's gone. The 5/3 HB agenda is gone. There's a lot of stuff that's
I mean,
just gone.
Bologna.
It's a deck name. Okay, hold on. Coding. Oh, it's a chameleon deck. I've played against a couple chameleon startup decks.
Coding the chameleon.
Chameleon got good support technically in the new set.
Very much so, yeah.
Technically got support.
That we can't talk about.
No. We'll talk about him next week. This is the full sentence he explained. Period inside the quotation mark ends both sentences because if you cite a full sentence but continue the sentence as said, the quote has to end in a comma. Hey, Cody, how's it going?
Period
Steven's
inside the
also
quotation
a
mark.
copy editor. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure. I'm pretty
Mark
sure.
ends both sentences because if you cite a full sentence but continue the sentence outside, the quote has to end in a comma. Yeah, but you're adding something, but you can't have a comma if you're adding a text to an ice. You can't have a comma at the end of that text. You have to put a period at the end of that text.
Sorry,
Like it's correct because you're adding that what's inside the quotation marks to the ice.
this is not a quotation. It's literal text. Because this is not a quotation. We're not quoting anyone.
No, okay, yeah. What's inside the quotation marks is what's being added to ice, and therefore we can't put a comma at the end of it. That would be incorrect on the ice. So we're compromising.
So let's just ask what percentage of his lifetime was Rozeki a cornball for? So Rozeki was out for about a while now. 2 years, 2.5 years.
Was
maybe
it
longer,
an
3 years.
uprising or downfall? Let's
Second
check.
part.
Let's just hover over it.
The part 2. No,
Yeah,
part
it's
1.
downfall.
Part 1.
That-
Wow. So actually,
Roseki's
maybe
been
like
around for about 4 years.
5%, not even.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not as bad as it looks. But
No,
like
it was
more
a
than
cornball
any
for-
other card.
It was a cornball for 6 months. Yeah,
Oh yeah, it was like way longer than we wanted it to be. Huh?
yeah, absolutely.
How come you can write that, but you can't write uwu? Seems inconsistent.
Mhm. Oh yeah, sorry. Stephen is professional pedant.
Oh,
We still tolerate him though.
okay. So this is a Kit deck.
Mhm.
Kit doesn't rotate. It's not Kit. It's what's Kit's what's their first name? Kit
Peddler.
Riel.
Riel. Yeah.
Okay, so deck has Eager 3x. Oh, Pat, please don't say it. 3 Gordian Blade, 2 Prisha, 3 Rozeki, 3 Chameleon.
I can't say it because Wait, I have so many egrets.
Yeah.
Okay.
I played against this deck before. So the idea is
Mhm.
Ice Carver, you install your Chameleon, so they come in as 4 strength. On top of that, of course, you have Cybertrooper Talut.
Have
Big
to.
thing I don't like about this deck is it's running so many 3-ofs, and
Mhm.
these are all things that like the deck wants and in their opening hand in theory.
But if they're all 3 ofs,
oh yeah, exactly. Like then
kind of-
nothing's a 3 of.
exactly.
So like I do think you can cut a
Mhm.
lot of these slots to play. Like 2 sure gambles seems
Huh.
like a problem.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 creative, 2 sure gamble Rizeki is enough, but the idea is like so many of these are 3-ofs that like the
Mhm.
majority of your deck is kind of dead past the early to mid game. So
man.
we'll see how it goes. I think there's a lot of things you could. Oh, I didn't name it, did I? No, I didn't. So you can clean up here. How are you doing? Did you see any of the UK Nats coverage? Kat, I wanted to ask you how your UK Nats went. I saw very little of it. I tuned in very at the end. It was a very busy weekend, unfortunately. That's also I couldn't cast at all. But how did it go? There was like 100 people there, which is pretty wild.
Yeah, good for you. That's great.
Yeah.
Happy to hear that. I think Whiteblade was there too.
For real?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that. New deck. Coding the Chameleon. Love this deck, but it never worked for me. Please show me how to make it work. I can't promise
yeah,
you
no
anything,
promises.
but we'll definitely try. And this deck is actually not that illegal in a bit. Like we keep everything. Palace Cafe, it rotates as a startup, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is so sad because it just needs more cards to work. It's like not a good card for a limited format,
Yeah.
unfortunately. We have to make
Eric
sure.
came third, says Alpha Alec.
Oh wow, what was he playing? I guess I haven't seen the always be
Netrunner.
running. Fuck. Excuse me. I adopted a friend into our testing group, and then he knocked me out at 2-for-1. Oh, it was
Nice.
an amazing time though. Oh man, how was just being in the UK? Were you there for like a bit? It was in Sheffield, right? Wherever Sheffield is. Like this is a nightmare matchup, right?
Is Sheffield like the kind of place that other places in the UK kind of make fun of?
I don't think so. 419 and ag, like still the same ad deck.
Hmm.
That's like the weird thing is we saw Worlds and then we didn't see huge events after Worlds. I think this
Yep.
is definitely the biggest event after Worlds. So to see whether people can deal with ag infusion, feel like they need to deal with ag infusion, or like how do they deal with like tags? Because on the JNet casual lobby, people don't play Drago that much, even though it's probably still good. All right, we have 2 econ cards. We don't have any of our set of resources, so we don't have Proco. Now this is R plus, which like getting cheap chameleons is not how you beat R plus.
No, and some of our most important things are resources too.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Got them all again. This is the best economy though, but it's not like we have to respect Hardy News. Well, they could. I've gotten one too many times hit by a public trail.
Damn it. That's too bad, Alpha Alec. I mean, I can think of like a different insult for each Canadian province and territory and several major towns and cities.
Okay. Ontario.
I'm not going to insult Ontario.
Quebec.
Okay, well, you know, like
New Brunswick.
Okay, well, New Brunswick, you know, Acadians, like, you know, Jouet de Toy, that funny video, you know, like I'm very good at it.
The Drago decks and Ag decks are just miserable for both players, so you don't see it much. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people have fun playing them, let alone playing against them. But like, if you're grinding competitive, it's something you kind of have to do.
Also, the Ag Infusion deck takes a long time, so maybe like it's just like selection bias.
But I think players have got better at it, so it should be faster on both sides. Because if you know how to play against it, you can play faster. All right, we have a Proco. We could hit the Proco once, and then we could creative, and that's like technically something.
Yep. Yeah, Saskatchewan, where you can watch your dog run away for 3 days. It's pretty good.
I like that a lot. It was lovely in Sheffield. Hey, good to hear. When I take it you might be back already. It's been a week. Yeah, maybe not actually. You watch your dog run away for 3 days. If people don't know, Saskatchewan is flat like a pool table. Yeah, you can see basically both ends of Canada.
Yeah, you can see Corner Gas getting filmed, and the Corner Gas where it inspired.
You always have to see Corner Gas getting filmed.
You can't look around without seeing Brent Butt in some direction or another.
I like to stand up when I was a kid.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. You had funny things to say about breakfast food. Doesn't that sound like
I remember that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Canada. New Brunswick, because the old Brunswick was just too popular. Boo, Steven. I like it. Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, cool. Oh, great. Oh, goody. We have tech. They trashed. Like the game is over, y'all.
We have Chameleon.
We played what are we calling? Barrier? Code gate? No, we run into it.
Yeah, run into it, then play
But then we
Chameleon.
still have to clear the tag. This is impossible. You thought the cast was pretty bad?
You thought that like the cast of Corner Gas? I don't know. I liked his kooky dad. The police officers are pretty fun.
Do we continue to rely on resources? Look at us go. Oh man, I thought they'd be able to res ice. That means it has to be like a toll booth or something. Yeah. Oh, you thought the cast was bad. Like greedy. The problem is like we can't play around it. Like we don't have no free lunch, which you could probably put in the deck. So Like I don't know what we can do. When there was a face down, yeah, I think that's worst case. I think it was more likely to be maybe we should have played around it, but like it protects our Proco. Otherwise we would have lost the Proco, and I think the Proco is actually the better trash. I think the Proco is the better trash.
Yeah, yeah, generally.
All right, Prisha helps.
That's gonna be helpful.
But I still think we have to just greed it up. So I think we can obviously destroy the Proco. Not obviously, but maybe. So I think we could do like daily cast telework. The problem is like we're not set up to run.
I think
we
put down daily cast and DM and DZMZ because that's going to make us.
I only want to install this on a turn that we actually get value from it. I never like playing once per turn abilities and not getting their ability. Like it's not like we will on the turn that we chameleon. I think we put the daily cast down. I think we have to.
Thomas Burton, who's working on a Netrunner themed cremation of Sam McGee, has a corner gas hat signed by the Goofy Dad.
Oh, cool.
Do we have to turn in our passports now? Because I think Thomas Burton has his beat on Canadianness.
It's pretty Canadian. Is that a cartoon still? They stopped making corner.
They made a cartoon for a few seasons. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I want to do a red-green Halloween costume at some point.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I'm waiting for that guy to get canceled for saying something. I hope he doesn't. I hope that he becomes like a nice old man and not like a weird old man.
I think it's much more like he gets canceled by natural causes.
Yeah, that might
old
be
age.
True. That might be true.
But the guy who played his son on that is still around. I mean, a lot of people on that
Hamilton.
show.
They're all from Hamilton. I
think.
of
course. Yeah, must be. Seems like a Hamilton kind of show.
All right. Yeah, it is a toll booth. That's fantastic.
That's
okay,
we cannot
right? Toll booth through that, but at least they have no money. Okay, so now we can Prisha and like charge Spin Doctor. I think we just charge Spin Doctor. We might as well Proco once. We have like no run economy. We can Gordon Blade that. Oh my lord, that's hard to deal with. We need a Paula, but we also need unique connections. Not a lot in startup. Like that's a problem with Paula is we have the bird, and I think that might be end of list. So here we can click telework, or we can just Proco and throw out our two worst cards. But we're Kit. I keep forgetting about that. We are Kit. We could run HQ. Yeah, yellow.
Yeah, might as well.
Desperately want Red Green's Herald to be elected to Canadian government position.
The character, not the actor, for sure.
Good to know. Kind of surprising.
I wouldn't think Toll Booth is the ice for a deck where you want to have more money than the runner at all. I mean, I see it.
Yeah.
I see some of the logic, but
Clayton Cybertrooper, yeah, Talut's our only one. I gotta pull that in.
Sorry,
water?
No, it's fine. Yeah. It's fine. I can last the end of the stream. Water.
All right, they click the 3. It's a DQ. They didn't res that before, so now we really want to get that down because obviously that's like super important economy for them. The problem is like Chameleon just doesn't do it. So if we install a Gordian Blade, it comes in for 4 credits. We have to boost to 3, so it's 7 plus 4, which is all our money, and then we need an additional 1 credit to trash that. Now we could get public trailed, but on 2 credits, probably not really. I think it's the right play. Like I think we do everything to take that down.
So money, Parisha, Gordian run.
Oh, I didn't even consider Parisha. Yeah, you're right. That's better than clicking for credit. Yeah, that seems fine. I didn't done the math here. And now with Parisha, it's actually credit positive, which is kind of cute. All right. So it's 7. Again, you can play endurance, I guess. We'll trash that with that, so we actually gain money. Cool thing with that card is even if you touch it, they don't get their money, but it's not like you can go fun run through it.
Yeah, you're not going to go back through that toll booth. 3x Bologna.
A 3x to Cream Mill, I guess. Yeah, I think that's probably it. Like all 3-pointers. I don't know how they'll score out. I assume a lot of times you want to play the 3-2 because it's just kind of good.
Yeah. It's more headline.
Yeah, but the issue here is like we have to run the modes over at about all times because we are terrified of Drago. I think actually if there's a Spin Doctor in there, we're happy and we don't want to charge archives. Yeah, because the longer the Spin Doctor is in there, the better.
The longer it's not a Drago, yeah.
Well, to some extent, maybe that's a fallacy.
Speaking of Bologna, did you see the Weird Al biopic?
No, that's out?
Yeah, it's been up for a little while. I think it's free on Tubi or Roku or whatever it's on. I watched it with my family, or my younger sister. So my older sister and my mother at the end, credits come up. Daniel Radcliffe's name is first. Both of them say, "Oh, who is he in this movie?" Such is the transformation of Daniel Radcliffe in that movie.
Startup known agreement. You're totally right. It's going to be send a message. Yeah, for sure. As you just said. Yeah, send a message makes sense with the big agendas. But we don't want to get too aggro on centrals because if we're behind on credits, they just kind of blow us up. There. All right, that could be a Drago.
Now we got to check it.
And we have to check this and still have money. So like if we run this in a 5-3, we lose. So installing the DZ this turn is credited negative by 1 and a click, so by 2. So if we want to get the Chameleon down, It'll be at 5 strength because it's a Talut. So we break this for 6 credits.
Hmm.
That seems bad. But if it is a Drago, seems bad.
I mean, most things it's fine because we have Prisha, right? If let's see when we get through. I think yes, DZ MZ this turn. We might as well get value from it.
We're losing to punitive no matter what, right?
Yeah. If it's Bologna, don't steal it.
You're right, but if it's a send a message,
Well, I guess then we steal that, and then
we die.
well, we die to double punitive.
We also have to check this. I wouldn't put it past them to score out.
Mm.
But yeah, our money is not very good. We haven't seen a Rozeki yet. Like a Rozeki would be perfect. It seems good to break this for 1. It's technically 4, but like installing this every turn, now it's only 1 credit turn. It's kind of a different deal.
It's gonna be a Drago.
Yeah, okay.
That's fine.
I'll check this. It might be a send a message. Not send a message, the 3-2. Spin doctor. That's okay. We're technically on 2. We're threatening it.
Cool.
So that's 2 spin doctors out.
3
spin doctors out. Oh, because 1 shuffled 1 back. I hear running water. Oh, that's the humidifier. That's new. I got really scared for a second. But yeah, we just got the air thing.
Don't forget, Chameleon on full hand is double punitive protection.
Oh, that's true. That's actually really
Yeah, I
cool.
forgot
Yeah.
about that.
The problem though is that when we lose our chameleons, we kind of lose the game.
Oh, sure, but
yeah,
they don't know we have 2. They don't know we have all chameleons. Like, would they punitive us if we have 6 cards in hand?
you just put
Probably
a botulus on this. You're so good. Okay, so we have to win off centrals, but we need money. I think we can let this Drago go. We diesel. I don't know if we're dieseling into it. The thing is, like, we played most of our burst economy, so we have 1 more creative in the deck.
Yeah, I also think
have 2 sure gambles.
we need more money, so we might as well keep using professional contacts for
That's the way I
next
see
draw
it.
anyway.
Yeah. Huh?
Just to make sure we have.
Why is that in there? What are we getting?
Huh.
What?
Is there a Stargate?
What are we getting? No, there's no multi. Wait, what's the multi-axis? Wait, what's the multi-axis?
Dear God.
Oh,
there is none.
Izzy, what have you done? You set us up. Going obstacles. Oh no.
Well, we go after centrals.
We can win off single axes. The deck has 6 agendas.
Izzy has pieced out of the chat. I don't know where Izzy
gone.
went to.
Okay, this can't hit anything, right? I didn't do the math. I think we just need more money, y'all.
Sure.
Okay. Ooh,
There's some money.
Get rid of those. And
Wow.
Get rid of that.
Wow.
I guess. Yeah.
Egrets.
This is not standard, so it's Drago R plus startup. So like they could retribution. They could just trash your stuff. That would be bad too. But like, oh, thank God, we don't even have pinhole. Man, I did say it was the first deck I ever grabbed off an interview when I started playing, and you're still playing. No, I don't want to be that rude, but like, yeah, you see, kind of maybe in retrospect, maybe you've been playing for a while. What you think about it might have changed. It's definitely exciting and like shows a lot of the like Netrunner stuff that you'd want to do.
That's true. It is interesting like that.
If we didn't respect punitive, like we would go ham. But the problem is now if we steal an agenda, we could install the chameleon and get around it. How hard can we face check? We can't just face check. Oh, we can because we
can. We have
Blade.
Gordian Blade, of course.
All right.
Face check, then Rozeki, then credit up.
Yeah, we'll run HQ. This was a setup. This is why I never won. It's a hard one. Oh, gold farmer.
Just what fire?
Yeah, that's fine.
Is there chisel in this?
No, of course not. Concept and needs legs. Yeah, I think there's a lot of legs you can add to this. Obviously, you need a win condition. We don't have a win condition. On top of that, like, there's a lot of cards that, like, now we have 2 more Cybertrooper Taluts in our deck. Means like clicking to draw
a little bit worse than
is not great.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, right? Like, that's kind of what happens. I think it's more important we have a Talut than a Proco at this point in the game.
Where did what's her name? Tally Perot?
Yeah.
Was that the one who thinned your deck?
No, you're thinking of you're thinking of Zero. And Tally Plo is a bad pub one.
Right, the one, whoever came out in the Valley, the first pack.
Whenever you install a card, remove all their copies. She was actually very interesting.
Yeah, she was played for a little while.
Yeah.
Sorry.
She's weird too because she's like one of the fundamentals. Like deck thinning is a good in a card game, yet most competitive players still didn't play her.
Yeah.
What's her name? I don't know if anyone knows in chat. She's like a 0 cost Anarch resource. Do we need all 3 chameleons? Sort of, because if we lose them to punitive, kind of.
Page Piper.
That's
Page
it.
Piper.
Thank you. I think we just run HQ, right? Well, it's Proco once for a sure gamble.
Why HQ? Why not run R&D?
Because
they have 16 credits.
So many turns. Do we just free install chameleon? I think clicking for credits better. Or I guess Proco is technically always better. Like, we don't need these. Paper was fun with crowdfunding. Oh, I never did that.
Interest. Oh, because you
Yeah, you get them all out.
and
Yeah.
then that's
I think Page Paper worked
terrible.
with frantic coding, so you didn't have to trash your cards. That was like a really cool interaction.
oh neat.
Yeah.
Huh.
Because it fizzled or something.
Mm-hmm.
Subliminal? Okay, well. Fun to see them waste ice on that R&D you're never going to run. I know. I know. We can literally camp the remote. Like, all we should be doing is clicking for credits. Like, our game now is like, get our Rizekis. We actually might have wanted to test run a Rizeki. It's going to be a while for that to be credit positive, but Rizeki's our best round or deck.
This seems like it's going to be a long game.
Yeah, it's going to be a really long game. They have to score 3 agendas. Did we just run it? Chameleon's free. That's kind of cool. And then it doesn't matter what we pick.
Yeah, they're both.
Oh, we pick Code Gate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Buckle up. Funhouse. Okay, that's a ice that we can't deal with. We'll take the tag, break for 1.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they get 2 cards, 2 credits. Seems like an issue. Oh, we have to draw twice after this. Yeah, we'll survive. All right, so we'll break 1 because we're at 5 strength.
Mm-hmm.
This is 4 more credits. We're technically Bologna, on track for Bologna now that we mathed it out. If it's a Bologna, we don't have to steal it. We probably should.
It's good that we mathed it out.
But no, we have to clear the tag. We're actually bad. We're actually in a bad spot.
Yeah.
Good. Don't have a tag there.
Okay, fine. Yeah. All right. So
there is an FTP. Good. Okay. So now we died a punitive, so we have to do draw and then clear the tag.
And then clear the tag. The chameleon will protect
Chameleon's
us.
in hand. And if they punitive our 2 chameleons, do we lose the game?
Surely there's a Salmo chip in this deck.
Heap for a program. Oh, test runs actually are recursion.
Oh, yeah, of course.
How many are we playing? Because we threw out 1. Yeah, they're punitive. That's fine. I don't think they might see how many cards we have in. Unless they triple punitive us, which if they do that, like, yeah, that's cool, I guess. 6 cards in hand. I'm lat. Yeah, playing punitive is really hard in startup because lat's like very present, at least competitively.
Yep.
All right, well, we kept 2 chameleons. They might see 1 chameleon and be like, I got it.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like,
okay.
Slow down.
Now I can win the game. But no, we've always got chameleons.
Not draw? What do you mean? Proco not draw? Oh, do we not Proco? Oh, we could have Proco'd there. We drew. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
fair,
yeah,
yeah.
absolute Muppets.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't want to do that because they already did their math. Yeah, sorry. You definitely Proco instead of draw. Okay. So now they probably like transition to retribution. We technically survived. Technically. Now we aren't going to need 2 more agendas. I think we have to let this one go through.
Yeah, we have to. Just draw up. Make some money.
Okay. First question after the first game is going to be deep dives right at the bottom. It's hard to deep dive in this deck, right? Because you have to spend clicks installing Chameleon. It's just like not a good use of it. We try and win off of R&D. Like we actually run a deal with FTP well. Absolute Muppets Incredible alternate name for the channel. What is server for? Spin dock? Or just some tag nonsense? God, I want another Rizeki. I'll bite. This didn't do anything. Regolith? Yeah, it's like it's nearly free.
Kind of cheap, yeah.
Proco. Whoa, boomerang.
Okay.
Cool. That's how we run HQ in a turn.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure we have money. Say the deep dive clicks with Palace. It's really hard though. Like you're asking for all that to be set up at the same time. Like you're probably just better off just smashing Maker's Eyes because like you're much better at doing like massive, surprising multi-axis. Or like at this board state, we're on 2-2-2-2. Like, are we not running Hushik?
We're not running Hushik.
Oh, we're not even running Hushik. Like Hushik would be so good. We're meant to install 2. Chameleons are 2s. Like we can very easily install
there's a lot of 2s.
Bunch of 2s. Yeah. Okay, we have to run that.
Yeah, that server sucks.
How bad is it? So they have 2 code gates. So the outermost is going to be code gates. So we just do telework. It's always all code gates. They maybe think we don't have this. Like maybe it's a Drago. Okay. I feel like we didn't do any of the math here, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter which ice we use, which breaker, because it's 4 no matter what. We have a click left for the tag. So breaking this for 1 is kind of cool. That's actually unique to this thing. Do we die to punitive? Yeah, it's either clear the tag or die to double punitive. I feel like we might have not wanted to hit the telework. Oh, but actually we have good money. So no, maybe we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I actually think we're fine here.
If it's a Bologna,
If
we
it's a Bologna, we're
maybe
iffy.
don't steal it. Okay, well,
Or
no
we'll
choices.
just see it, yeah.
Okay, game points. So punitive would be a problem. Now, to be on punitive, to not die to punitive, we have to draw once. Now, we do have a lot of money. We can go down to 7. We don't have a link. Thinking.
But do we want to let them mess with us with, like, what are the chances they have 2 punitives in hand?
And I think if they have 2 punitives, they don't have the money. Like, the most that they can be on next turn to punitive us is 16 credits, which means that they have to pay 6 on the traces. That's 10 credits to boost. So they have to do trace 10, trace 10. That actually connects. If they have exactly
hedge fund into 2 punitives.
Not even hedge fund. They would need the government subsidy. They need a 5 credit play.
But I think that I don't know. Maybe once we sold the first
one, we have Link. We have Cybertrooper Link. I think we're totally safe.
Oh, we have Link. I forgot. But yeah, and also, like, I think once we sold the first one, maybe they were willing to drop them. We don't know.
Maybe archives. Maybe I didn't check. Oh yeah, you should pay attention. You're totally right. When they drop into archives. By draw you mean Proco? Yeah, Dana, we'll get it right that time. I hope. Yeah, I think we're okay here. I think with the H link, it's actually a fair bit harder. And again, they would need a contract. If they do a hedge fund, they're on 14, and then they spend 6 of that on the traces themselves, so they have 8, and they have to do. Actually, we still have a potential of dying here. I think I might have done my math wrong. If they only click for credit, they're at 12. Then they have 2 6s. They can do 8 and 8, and we survived that barely. So if they have a hedge fund, I think we die. Yeah, I think we die if we have a hedge fund. But they need to see all 3 punitives, and there's still 16 cards in R&D. So who knows? They haven't sprinted or anything. I think they're doing the math though. That scares me.
Yeah, they're figuring something out.
I think we're like 1 credit under, which is that Proco draw 2 turns ago. We're good.
Now would be a good time to ask, do you mind if I...
Proco? Remember that 4 turns ago when I messed up?
Yeah.
Is that within the null signal rewind rules? Okay, so this looks like a Bologna. If it's a Bologna, they can score it. If it's a Bologna, we steal it, we win. So if we want to steal it, it's a click to install our breaker. This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we need to get a lot more credits. And we have 1 sure gamble in 16. We can click for 3. We also have to install this. So we only have like a 3-click turn. We haven't seen a Palace. And we can't invest on Palace because of stupid Drago. Admittedly, once they res a Drago, before they can spend a click, we can always duck off of Paula, but it's really expensive. On their turn at least. So I think we let this one go.
I agree. So
if we're doing an ice check, assuming that they're only on 6 3-pointers, which maybe a very greedy punitive list is, this could be half of their agendas, which is in about more than half of their deck. So we're assuming that it might actually be an agenda in HQ. So we could always consider running HQ. We also have Boomerang, which doesn't save anything really.
No, that's actually
saves nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we let this one go. Yeah. Start your Scarlet Keys adventure. No, Dana, we got it, but we haven't opened it. We thought we were gonna play it with our brother-in-law, and he started on his own. We're waiting for Christmas holidays. We're gonna play it together. Maybe Maddie and I will start it actually, but we're doing Edge of the Earth currently. How's it been for you? I haven't heard a lot of talk about it because it's hard to talk about it.
Do we want to just put that on something?
Put what?
A boomerang on something just as a preparation, like to threaten R&D or something. Just let them.
I think we just need to get as much money as possible.
All right.
Like I honestly would consider installing a telework, and if they trash the telework, no, it's no point getting that. I think the boomerangs are useless. If anything, we could boomerang this, but this is like a 2-credit break. We install this. Oh no, this actually is worth boomeranging because it's innermost. Yeah. Paulus is not going to do it. After load boomerang on the cafe, I don't even think that's worth it. Subliminal. Of course, we didn't run. Advanced events. It's the Bologna. Good. Okay, that's fine. We couldn't run it. And now we run HQ once a turn.
Fair. Yep.
Do we check archives first to see if they threw out the punitives? It's not very good.
It doesn't matter to us right now.
No. But we want to make a run and turn to stop the subliminal. They have to discard a card here, so I like running HQ. So we just run HQ?
Yeah, let's do it.
So it's the same amount to break it with Gordian Blade and anything else, right?
Yes. So cost 4 either way.
So we'll just run HQ. We have no run events, so it's not like we're going to get anything from this. Like we can't make this cheaper.
Because this is a deck built before Gateway, right? That's the idea. Oh no, it's got DZ. Never mind.
Yeah. What is Talut supposed to be? I'm not sure. Cybertrooper Talut is a virtual connection, some sort of AI construct of some sort. I reckon. I'm not actually sure.
Yeah, I think it's like the helpful AI.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Of course, that's how they're going to win. That should have been obvious from a distance. Okay, so I think we just money up and run the remote as many times as we can. I kind of want to check archives.
Okay, check it.
It costs us a click, But I want to see what they're throwing out. Like we want to check
That's
Dragos,
5
we want to
cards,
check
yeah.
Punitives. Like there's a lot of cards in here. So 2 Punitives are out. We don't have to worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
They're throwing out the fun houses. They threw out a ping. That's something we need to play around, but that shouldn't have been a surprise. We just need to get as much money as we can. Unfortunately, this was not a very credit positive turn. We actually lost money this turn. Lost connection. We'll get back. I thought Talut was a swarm of birds. It has to be.
Yeah, I was never sure if Talut is the swarm of birds or if it's
Trooper singular though.
well, Cybertrooper is a neologism. We don't know how the plurals work on that one.
Cybertroopers.
Yeah, no, it's like fish and fish, you know?
Yeah,
like
that's
fish
true.
is multiple types of fish, but fish is multiple fish.
Cybertrooper player. Cybertrooper is a person who's paid to disseminate political propaganda on the internet, particularly on social media platforms. Whoa.
Oh, okay, cool.
Whoa. And that's maybe these are Twitter birds? For real? Planogram to gain 3. Card remote server. So we have to run that every turn. Thanks, nice wrapping. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that. That's really cool. I somehow never knew that.
Cyber murder Talut. They did have government subsidy in their deck.
Huh.
They did have it, and I think they threw these out like a turn earlier. Okay, thinking. All right, Rizeki would be the best card in our deck. Okay, again to run this 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can't steal Bologna, but we'll have enough to trash our boy Drago. Other cards they put in their remote server, we've seen 2 Regoliths, we've seen 1 Drago, and we've seen 2 DQs, daily quests. I think there's a very much shrinking list of things. But if they score the Drago, they either trash one of our things or they do something else. So I think we do, because we have to have a click after this. So we do Proco, this, run. Yeah, Proco, get 3, run, remote, server clear tag.
Sure.
Ugh. I forgot how bad the draws are in the deck at this point in the game.
That's true. A lot of unique stuff that you can't.
It's mostly 3-ups, right? Like the only cards we want to draw are 2 Rizekis. Like the only cards we want to draw: 2 Rizekis, 1 Creative Commission, 1. So it's only 1 in 4 of the draw being good. 1 Sure Gamble, I think. There's not 3. There's only 2 in the list. Oh, we didn't install a breaker.
No, I thought that was on purpose. Like we have Gordian Blade. I thought
It's more expensive, but we're gonna have to just eat that.
Yeah, I assume that was the plan.
Yeah, that click was worse than the draw from Proco by a mile. Because now this costs us like this is a boost and a boost. Like it costs us an extra 3 credits. Oh, that's so bad. I messed up. Yeah, that's the issue with this. Like this is a very expensive breaker. Like literally, how often you have to use it. I think we still don't access it with 5 credits. Yeah, that's a shame. At least it's a blown, it doesn't go anywhere. If we have Drago money, we're already good. Forgot the little guy. What's the worst again with Drago? They score backroom machinations. Trashing our Proco's bad. Trashing our Cybertrooper actually means we have to get through the Talut a different way. So it's not amazing, but it's not great. There's a big chance though that we can just play the whole game clicking for credits and then only run when they install advance. Because I don't think they can win unless they Retribution our Gordian Blade. And we haven't seen enough information. I think Retribution's the way we lose. But the problem is like if they trash the Cybertrooper Talut, yeah, I think we just click for credits. I don't think we run their most of it anymore. Predictive? Okay. Yeah, I think that was wrong. I don't think we should ran that. Yeah, I think we do just full remote lock. Because that's the thing. If they're playing all 5 3s, install advance. Now we have like such a scoring window. Like I feel sick. Yeah, I think you might remote lock. I think it's right. All right, all spin docks out. They just drew a bunch. That's a really awkward draw for them too. They just drew 4 cards in a row, so running HQ for an agenda could be correct. Now we have to assume that's a Bologna. So here we could just like tilt and run HQ. Again, they're gonna filter cards out. I don't know if they throw out agendas, but assuming that's 1, 2, 3, 4 agendas, there's 2 agendas within 16 cards. So it's only 1 and 8 on any axis.
Before we click for money, if we run through Gold Farmer, it can't take extra money from us. So maybe we won't run now that we're on 2.
We can't steal Bologna.
Okay.
So there's only 1 agenda in the deck that we can steal if we do that.
True.
That's the issue. Like it halves our win rate.
Yeah, that's fair.
But you're right. Yeah, this we could duck if we have low credits. Man, my kingdom first target, huh? All right, we'll just keep drawing. That's good. So we can do that. I guess we want to keep 1 Talut in hand. The second DZ is totally useless. Or the third DZ, excuse me.
Yeah, very much so.
All right, let's see how bad this is. Double advanced. Subliminal, again. If we don't run the gain of credit. Advance, please be Bologna. Good. That's
Okay,
good.
that's
That's good.
good.
That's
That's
good.
good.
So now any non-advanced card, that's the issue. Is now every non-advanced card we have to run because it could be a drag onto a back room.
Yeah.
So now we have to start taking pot shots on HQ. We also don't know what the tag punishment is. We might be able to go tag me.
Excuse me.
Do you think running R&D is cheaper?
We don't know, right?
Do we find out? I think we find out.
Yeah, let's find out. Well, let's install Chameleon and then find out.
Do we?
Yeah, because Chameleon is cheaper to run with than Gordian Blade in almost every possible
But what
case.
ice are we going to hit that we actually want to break? Like, I think a lot of times we want them to res. Immediately on 21 credits, but I feel like there's a lot of things here we'd bounce off of. That's probably not a good user click. I think you're right. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. A small, cheap thing. We break that for 1 regardless. We take the tag, so this click wasn't amazing, but like we didn't know that. They drew, which means they don't have it. Or they have it and they're diluting. It's one or the other. So we boomerang this. Okay. We have Bologna credits. Please. Dang it. Shuffle. I honestly don't think so.
Because it dilutes our deck of
Yeah, like do we
creative
ever want to
commission and
draw a
stuff.
second boomerang when we have a boomerang in hand?
I mean, we need something for those interior ice.
Just this.
Yeah.
Well, if they ice this up, we have to deal with the gold farmer. So okay, fine. All right, Proco, remove tag. If we don't clear the tag, we lose on the spot. So don't do that. Oh man, just a Hushiker and Maker's Eye. Like we actually can close the game out here. That's frustrating. Oh, okay.
Cool.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So this is the thing that I think gets me about Isawak. Isawak is going to get a lot of the same plays as this, and Isawak is going to get a lot of the same play patterns as what is that other one? The 4-3 agenda that nobody plays from start.
Audit.
Vulnerability
Audit.
Finish the game. Significant event. Thanks for the game. Right? Like I feel like both of those games are going to get the same sort of thing where they just suddenly end out of nowhere, and I don't know if that's going to be satisfying. Right? Like I really don't like this card, because it's the same sort of thing. It's so vulner. So many people play Netrunner with certain scoring patterns in mind, right? Where they think like, oh, that's a double advance. It can be a 5-3. It can be a 4-2, whatever. You know how people play. And sometimes people just never advance and then they just do seamless advance and they win, right? Like, I think that might be more exciting for the corporation who's taking a risk. I just want to make sure that we didn't say goodbye or anything. Okay. Oh my God. Sorry for the ending. Was very satisfying. Imagine to hit it hard. Hey, no worries at all. Good game, by the way. But cards like this is like I've seen so many games, even at like top tables of the World Startup Championship, where the game is just lost and the opponent's like,
yeah,
okay. And I don't love that. Like, there's gonna be so many times in this walk where it's gonna be like, oh, I'm just gonna score this and score this. Oh, I win, and the opponent's like, oh, okay. And big deal. Like, if we saw big deal, I think we'd be more aggressive. We just could not get accesses because our deck could not afford accesses, let alone only had single accesses on a 6 agenda deck. So like that, we probably would have seen this coming from a mile away. We can trash big deal as well. But you know what I mean? Like, that's a part of Isawak that worries me. Rendering my first video on my new computer, and it went from rendering real time 1 second to 1 second to like 1 to 4. Ooh, you got a nice rig, I take it, huh? Get a couple of those mem strips in there.
Good for all these viruses.
That's the thing that like I'm constantly haunted with is I do not know if my aging computer is just set up in a way that like I've allocated the wrong amount of RAM or using threads wrong or all these things I don't understand to my rendering software, or whether my computer is nonsense. So like I'm so excited at some point in my life to upgrade my computer and then do that exact same render and be like, that should have took 20 minutes. Yeah. I think it's more of a meta thing. If you don't play around HHN, then you can just lose. Sure, but like you don't just lose. You like that's an easy thing to play around. It's just like playing around any card in remote server being the difference between like a 0 point and 4 points is kind of a bit much for me. And like hard hitting users ways to tech around it. Like you can always clear the tags. You can always I don't know. Yeah, audit's not common. That's the thing. It's like audit comes out of nowhere too, and people just like, oh yeah, that's a card. I guess I lose. So not a real point to me, but that's the thing that with the Isawak, I was like, there's gonna be so many times where it's just like, I guess I win. Yeah. Anyways. Let's not end on that negative note. Let's just end on a positive note,
which is our ending.
Yeah,
I guess we're positive about that.
Yeah, don't play around remotes if you just have to APOC them. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like when Parhelion drops on Friday next week, and I think we're gonna be streaming on Friday, or at least I'll be streaming on Friday for the live stuff. just play your most aggressive diversion of funds recursion APOC deck, and anybody who's trying anything cute who like cuts too many econ and fundamental cards just for all the cool neat tricks, you will crush them, and you'll be so powerful spamming your fucking aggro deck going face. It's gonna be good.
That's a good note to end on.
Yeah.
Let's end with that kind of emotion.
See you on Friday.
Yeah, okay.
Doesn't Mad Dash do the same thing but for runners? Yes, Mad Dash does do exact same thing for runners, but I don't like Mad Dash. I don't think Mad Dash is kind of healthy. That works every expansion release for every card game ever. So it's gonna be fun. Anywho,
well, you know, that like button, just waiting, and subscription to the YouTube and Twitch.
Thanks so much
Patreon
for joining me, Pat.
And yeah, sorry.
Thanks so much for joining me again.
I've had a great time. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
It's always good to hang out with the chat and play some games.
Yes.
And talk about all these spoilers.
Again,
These
stay
are so
tuned
fun.
to all the community spoilers. There'll be more coming up for sure, and you see the list. And then the set drops digitally on the 9th, and then paper orders, it seems, on the 12th. A lot of people, if you're somewhere and ordering a single copy of the stuff, if you do an order from Make Playing Cards or Drive Through Cards, can be expensive. Do check out. There's a lot of people that buy en masse and then like kind of sell it cheaper, or a lot of local metas will go in together if they're organized. So try and get into that. It does make the game more accessible, which is nice. And you also meet people.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely, if you are a single Netrunner player, try to meet up with someone, like even if it's just in your state or province.
It's like dating advice.
Yeah, exactly. Like let's do speed dating Netrunner edition. Yeah, to just meet up with local people and get a much cheaper copy of the game. It might take some traveling, but I think it's probably worthwhile to meet those
people will mail
other
stuff
Netrunner players.
too.
They will, yeah.
Scarlet Keys is fantastic. Maddie, now once she figure out that she can play the politician, just stack her deck with all the animal assets. She's like really into it.
Sled dogs, the cats,
Doyle, all the cats, hot singles in your area. That's how you play Netrunner. That's how you should have played that Shaper deck. Should have been hot singles in our area. We needed those. Bammy is another sex bot. Yeah, we'll get you. That's it. Thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out. Hopefully you're enjoying your week, your spoilers week. Hopefully you're enjoying the VOD. I realize I've been talking too much out that way, which is quiet.
And I've been kind of looking this way sometimes. I'm sure that my audio has not been appropriate.
Yeah, we'll have to get two right mics at some point. But that's it. We'll be back in a week. And then I'm pretty sure on the 9th, when the set releases, I'll be doing a stream like in the afternoon for most of the day, testing out new stuff. So we'll see you there. Huge shout out to the Null Signal Games people who've been putting on a real good show with some real cool cards, and all the community folks who are spoiling them, because a lot of effort goes into preparing that stuff, and it's great that you see people share their excitement. So
100%.
Take care, y'all.
Bye, everybody.
Ciao.